Welcome to the sports and entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, where the Raiders have been on the grind. It's the dawn of a new season.
First day out, back to business, feels great. It's that time again, man. A lot of work put in. Now it's time to really get to work.
A new era and a new quarterback.
Raider Nation, what's going on, guys? Glad to be here. Just made it official. Can't wait to get to work, man. Let's go get this thing. Go get some W's.
Teaming up with second-year head coach Josh McDaniels.
Great look, no excuses.
Building through the draft and free agency. There's definitely new faces on the field. The pride of putting on the silver and black and the battle to make the 53-man roster. In preparation for week 1. But first, bring on the San Francisco 49ers. Raider Nation, it's about that time. Just win, baby.
A motto established long ago, and now it's time to bring that saying to the forefront again. We welcome you to Las Vegas and the kickoff to the 2023 preseason. It's Alumni Day with Raiders of years ago here to bring the past and gel it together with the present and always that eye to the future. This season starting today inside Allegiant Stadium in a year when the campaign will end here as well with Super Bowl 58 in this building. And is it good to be back and get ready for some football as we kick off this preseason, the old Battle of the Bay. Hey, folks, how are you? Jason Horowitz, 2002 NFL MVP Rich Gannon, four-time Super Bowl champ Matt Millen. Happy to get going with this preseason and this new-look Raiders team coming off the 6-11 campaign a year ago. Rich, for the first time in a decade, it's not Derek Carr's team. He's in New Orleans. Jimmy Garoppolo leading a brand-new quarterback room.
And, Jason, I'm excited for this group. It's a group that's very diverse. You look at the experience that Jimmy Garoppolo gives you spending the last 6 years with the San Francisco 49ers. He brings stability, production, and consistency to the position. They also added Brian Hoyer. That name may sound familiar to a lot of New England Patriot fans. He spent the last couple seasons with the Patriots, began his career as a Patriot. The good news for Raider fans is that Hoyer and Garoppolo have history in this system. They're not starting from scratch. They have a history with the terminology and verbiage. That'll serve them well. And I'm also excited to see our fourth-round pick out of Purdue, Aiden O'Connell, who'll get the start today. He has a lot of the qualities and the intangibles that you love at that position. He has the size, he has the arm talent, and he has the maturity, I think, to step right in and pick up this system quickly.
Yeah, second team all Big Ten the last couple of years. Going to see a lot of him today. On the other side, it's a defense that knew it had to improve in their second-year coordinator, Patrick Graham, Matt, particularly in the secondary. They went out and they got veterans and leaders to do that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said veterans and leaders, because that's one of the things they were really looking for. Not only did they want to get guys who could lead the way and show people how to do it, but they also still had to have a high skill set. And so when they come in, Marcus Epps at safety, Epps is one of those guys who has a presence on the field, and he's one of those guys who's also a teacher to young players and a great communicator. You couple him on the outside with Marcus Peters, the corner. Great experience. He's one of those guys who's a great teacher. Excellent for younger players. And speaking of younger players, the guy who I really like, who's really stepped out of camp, Ja'Cory Bennett, number 29 for Maryland. This kid's got raw skills. They're honing them right now. This looks like this is a diamond in the rough.
Well, and it's a defense that has so much emphasis on having takeaways. Bennett had a bunch of those at Maryland, but nobody in the NFL has had more than Marcus Peters since he came into the league in 2015. 32 interceptions, the most in the league since he entered from Washington. And, man, can he take it to the house, which would be a huge addition for this team as well. All part of a defense, speaking of leadership, under Max Crosby, who wants to see this team get back to the postseason.
You know, for me, I worry about the day. You know, I'm worried about getting better today, and then tomorrow when it gets here, I'm worried about that. You know, every single day I come in here, I think about winning. You know, I don't do this year-round to come in and not make the playoffs. I'm sick of that shit, and I want to keep winning, and I want to get back to the playoffs. I want to be in Cincinnati on the road, you know, in a hostile environment. That's why I play the game. That's why I work the way I work. You know, I come here, and I do this all year, and like I said, I want to win championships. I want to be at the top of the game. I want to be the #1 guy, regardless of position.
Well, he was top 20 in the league's voting of top 100 players in the league. Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, all part of that group. But man, oh man, is Max Crosby taking it to another level. He will not play today in his 5th year out of Eastern Michigan. We will talk to him later today. They're looking forward to that, having that in the second half. The Niners won the toss, selected to receive. So we're going to look at some of these younger defensive players early on in this game. Carlson has it teed up. And the preseason is underway. Ronnie Bell coming out for the 49ers. And he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. Curtis Bolton in special teams, which is where San Francisco will take over. Now, certainly the story for this Raiders defense is getting better from a year ago. For the Niners, Rich, they have a backup quarterback conversation. We won't see Brock Purdy, their starter, but Trey Lance or Sam Darnold, we'll see both of them today.
Yeah, Trey Lance, a quarterback that got hurt last year, Jason, to start the season. He had to watch. He had to watch Brock Purdy. He had to watch Jimmy Garoppolo. This is an opportunity for him to earn some reps and earn the trust and respect of his teammates and coaches.
And he's throwing right away, and the pressure right up the middle. Gang on Trey Lance. That's the 11th year veteran John Jenkins, Matt, a guy that you said you loved in practice this week.
Yeah, and Jenkins should turn around and go out and thank Amika Robertson out in the corner because he had outstanding coverage. He was looking for the quick throw. Robertson right on top of it, and because of that, you're going to watch Jenkins on the inside just overpowers him.
A push up inside, so disruptive to a quarterback who wants to step up in that A-gap between the center and guard.
He almost knocked that ball loose on the opening play of the preseason. So it's 2nd and 13 for Lance. Again, good coverage. He dumps it into the flat to his tight end, Dwelly. And out there to make the stop, Roderick Teamer. The 4th-year safety out of Tulane was active all last year for the Raiders on special teams.
Jason, one of the things that we watched in camp, which I was really impressed with, and we talked a little bit about in the pregame, is this secondary. This secondary, they have been on top of everything. Really been impressed both in zones and in man, and right now it looks like you're going to match it up.
And today, not seeing Peters or Marcus Epps, Nate Hobbs. So an opportunity because there's battles at the corner spots. Lance had to pump fake. He's sacked again! Right off the edge, it's Isaac Rochelle getting in there for the 2nd sack for the Raiders on the opening series.
Yeah, that's going to be on the quarterback. He had the tight end open on the right side, and he didn't pull the trigger. He pulled it back, and because of that, they were able to close the gap and get this sack.
Really good coordinated pass rush. You know, you get some pressure off the edge. You get pushed up inside, Matt. Again, quarterbacks want to step up inside. The Raiders are doing a nice job here early, getting push in the middle of that pocket.
Mitch Wisnowski with the punt. Veteran Amir Abdul, a lot of time. He's trying to get away from 5 different 49ers and brought down at the 32-yard line after a punt of 50.
Took them all on.
Yeah, why not? So here comes Aiden O'Connell, the 4th-round pick out of Purdue, the 25-year-old who will turn that early in September. 22 touchdowns last year. His junior season in 2021, though, Rich, he was a 71% passer for the Boilermakers.
You know, Jason, I really like him. A 2-year starter. Began his college career as a walk-on at Purdue. Had to scratch and claw his way up to the top of that depth chart. Pocket passer. He excels at reading coverages, getting the ball out quickly. I think he's a really good fit for what Josh McDaniels is trying to do here with this Raiders offense.
They'll take the snaps from Aronis Grasu, getting the start at center. No Andre James, no Colton Miller on that offensive line. It's a handoff to Zamir White with a head of steam out just shy of the 40. And it's a 7-yard pickup for the 2nd-year pro out of Georgia, who's getting a lot of reps here in camp, as Josh Jacobs still has not signed that franchise tag.
And he's doing a really nice job. I mean, this kid in camp has really been impressive. One of those guys who he understands inside running game coming from Georgia. He's one of those kids who could be very physical if he has to, but he has the speed to get to the outside.
And he's been working on his pass catching skills here in this offseason as well. And he gets a 2nd straight carry, showing some patience and a push. Out near the 41. It'll bring up 3rd and short for this Raiders offense and Nathan O'Connell.
Yeah, it's one of the things that this Raider offense had to improve on is this offensive line. This offensive line has got to be able to sustain drives and stuff like this, right? Right now they've got to win this battle at the line of scrimmage.
A lot of competition, Matt, on that right side of that offensive line. You look at right guard and right tackle. Still some decisions to be made there by this coaching staff.
Yeah, Van Roten, number 70, the kid from Penn, at that right guard. I think he's doing a pretty good job.
He got the start today with a Luminoy right tackle. O'Connell, his first pass is a strike to his fellow rookie Trey Tucker. 3rd-round pick out of Cincinnati on a dart from Aiden O'Connell. That's a 15-yard pickup before Jair Brown, the Penn State rookie for the Niners, made the stop.
You're just going to see Trey Tucker on the inside, just going to work across the field. And, Matt, I really like this young player. I mean, he's not very big, but he's got the explosiveness, the change of direction ability, and the speed that Al Davis always coveted.
Yeah, he can find a hole.
Speaking of finding a hole, how about the hole for the left side of the offensive line? That's 9 more yards for Zeus.
That's what I wanted to say on that last pass play. The protection was phenomenal. He was able to step up. He was protected very well. I had a lot of Aiden O'Connell in college games, and this kid, you give him time, he's going to find an open receiver.
Yeah, I love the lead with the tight end back up inside. These ISO plays have been very effective here early for the Raiders.
That's John Samuel Schenker, tight end out of Auburn, leading the way. Good push there for the Niners to get out in front.
See if they get this first here or not. Didn't look like he signaled them.
That's our old friend Cleve Furl on the stop for the Niners.
Set up 3rd.
Furl, after his 4 years here with the Raiders, signed with San Francisco in the offseason. They did not get the first down. So 3rd and short again. They passed last time. This time it's a QB sneak, and Aiden O'Connell's got the first down. Impressive opening set of plays here for the rookie.
And, you know, you can only imagine what's going through the mind of Aiden O'Connell. You know, how nervous you have to be, even though he played in the Big Ten. I mean, this is, you know, Matt, you and I were talking before the game. You were going back to your first preseason game. I was down in New Orleans. I could hardly get the play calls out of my mouth. And I tell you, you know, it's different. You look across the line of scrimmage. You've got the 49ers. You've got Jimmy Garoppolo over there. He's helping you. And you got a head coach that's trying to get you out of the huddle. Josh is going to be yelling at him. Watch the clock. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, and that was one of the things that Josh McDaniels told us yesterday. They didn't huddle at Purdue with his former coach Jeff Brom. Lobs one downfield. Open receiver is Cole Fotheringham, the tight end. Demetrius Flanagan follows there to make the stop, but down to the 10-yard line on a 20-yard pass.
Yeah, this whole thing is brought to you by this offensive line. Very impressed right now with what the heck they're doing. This is an excellent job by this offensive line. He's given him a pocket to step up into. Nobody in his face. Ball's right where it needs to be. That's really well done by that O-line.
We talked about this, solidifying those A and B gaps, allowing these quarterbacks to step up inside.
So it is 1st and goal just inside the 10, and the handoff to Zamir White, who's ridden down to the turf at the 5-yard line. Arlen Davidson, the veteran out of Auburn, there to make the stop after a 4-yard run.
Couple, good, man.
Now, McGill took the bait right there. They gave him a little opening, and they were going to trap him, but he came up the field so fast, he tried to tackle the quarterback at the handoff. You can see he gets up in front. They're trying to trap him.
Yep.
They couldn't get there with the tight end, and so they took advantage of it inside.
This is the 9th play of the opening drive for the Raiders in the preseason. 2nd and goal. That is Hollister on the pitch to Zamir White, trying to find the corner and can't get there. Jair Brown got him down at the 1. It'll bring up 3rd down and goal.
That Jair Brown's pretty good. Where's he from?
Penn State. I think you know something about that, right?
That's a good player. That's a really good young player. He's going to play in this league for a long time. But a nice job of taking him out. Inside out comes the lineman. Now you just got to beat one man. And sets up this 2nd and short.
Really impressive
3rd and short, rather.
Well, this is a great start for the Raiders preseason. The defense 2 sacks and forced a 3 and out. The offense trying to go down and score. Zamir White getting the push. And he's in. Touchdown Raiders on the opening drive of the preseason.
Rich, what was really impressive impressive on that particular play was they loaded up defensively on the right side, and they ran right at the strength. They ran right into numbers.
Zamir White, 7 carries for 28 yards on the opening drive. Aiden O'Connell was perfect, 2 for 2. And it'll be Daniel Carlson lining up for this extra point, brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of the Las Vegas Raiders. Visit creditonebanktravel.com. Daniel Carlson coming off first team All-Pro campaign. He boots it through. And you couldn't ask for a better start if you're Josh McDaniels. Your defense made some plays. The rookie led him down the field, and Zamir White capped it off. Raiders up 7-0. Located at the 50-yard line, the 14,000 square foot Credit One Club is one of 2 field-level clubs within the premium club seating space here at Allegiant Stadium. The luxurious private lounge includes VIP entry, direct access to the field, all-inclusive food and beverage service, and so much more. The club is available for game days and all other major stadium events. Jason Horwitz, Rich Gannon, Matt Millen back with you inside Allegiant Stadium. Raiders defense forced a 3 and out against Trey Lance and took it down the field for a 7-0 lead here against San Francisco. Ronnie Bell set to bring this out again on the corner kick from Carlson. And great coverage down there by the Raiders. He won't get back to the 20.
Chris Smith did a great job. Beat his block, got on top of it, forced it back inside.
Yeah, Chris Smith, Georgia player, the 5th-round pick this year, was teammates with Zamir White at Georgia before that.
And you can see his running style. He's a physical guy. Eyes are always up. Understands exactly what he's got to do. I love this touchdown run right here. That's a nice job by the offensive line getting pushed, and Zamir just taking advantage of the power.
Great second effort. What a great start. As you said, 10-play drive, 8 runs, 2 passes.
Those 2 passes both completed for Aiden O'Connell. Tyrion Davis-Price, the carry for the 49ers. No starters today for San Francisco on their offense. Trey Lance, of course, was the starter last year, the first 2 games before he got hurt. There's that 10-play scoring drive. Took 5.5 minutes off the clock. Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow right in front there. There's Zamir White. And again, this season, this year, Rich, heading in, Josh Jacobs coming off the 2,000 yards from scrimmage last year. Franchise tag has not signed that, so Zamir White's gotten so much of the workload in camp.
More opportunities. That's just the nature of our business, Jason. When a player is not here for whatever reason, whether it's a contract, whether it's an injury situation, there's other reps, there's other opportunities for young players. You look at, obviously Britton Brown, you look at Zamir White, Amir Abdullah, Brandon Bolden. These are all very capable backs. I remember Matt and I really watching Zamir White last year in training camp. He had a really terrific preseason. He's a talented runner that just needs opportunities.
Brandon Bolden not in the lineup today. Neither is Britton Brown. This defense getting off to a good start, forcing another 3rd down for Trey Lance. Pressure up the middle again. He pulls it down and fires wide. Charlie Warner, the intended receiver. It was Jaquan Johnson coming over from Buffalo in the offseason on the coverage, and it's a 2nd straight 3 and out for this defense.
Pressure's been good, but the knock on Trey Lance is the accuracy. This is an offense that's predicated on getting receivers into the transition of the run. You've got to be a very accurate passer. You look at Jimmy Garoppolo the last 6 seasons. You look at Brock Purdy, who came in for the injured Jimmy Garoppolo last year. The accuracy, the anticipation, the decision-making, and areas of Trey Lance's game where he has to improve.
Yeah, the anticipation. So outstanding coverage by Jacorian Bennett on that last play. He was looking that side, didn't pull the trigger, didn't quite trust it, and then was able to force a poor throw.
Dula again doesn't call for the fair catch. This time had a couple more blockers in front of him. And he is swung out of bounds at the 28-yard line after a 4-yard return after a 53-yard punt. Aiden O'Connell back on the field for his 2nd pro drive next. Earlier here before the game inside Allegiant Stadium, a moment of silence held for what is the deadliest wildfire in recent U.S. history. As we get back to the game, Aiden O'Connell with the screen set up to Amir Abdullah, and he is driven down to the turf. Marcelino McCrary Ball in his second year out of Indiana there to make the stick.
You know, enormous responsibility for a rookie quarterback in this offensive system. Sometimes the play calls can be very wordy. You have to get in there and tell everybody what to do. You have to get to the line of scrimmage. You have to make sure you're directing the offensive line, the protection scheme, making sure everyone understands who's blocked, who's unblocked. A lot of calls in the run game, checks. You know, it's a lot going on in the mind of a young quarterback.
Handoff to Zamir White again, and he bounced off that first tackle, Matt, and takes it out about a yard shy of the first down again.
Yeah, it's a nice job by the offensive line. They're getting into their blockers. You don't necessarily have to blow people off the ball. All you have to do is kind of get in the way most of the time. They're doing a nice job right now of assignment blocking.
Well, and the other part, too, we always talk about staying down in distance, right? Staying ahead of the sticks. They had 3 third downs on the opening drivers. They were all 3rd and 1.
Third manageable. That's the big thing, Jason. You know what I mean? You want to be good on the early downs. You know, the third down is a very difficult down, and if you can have your quarterback sneak it, it makes life for the play caller and everybody else a whole lot easier. What you want to avoid, this league has great pass rushers, and you want to stay out of 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, 3rd and long situations. That's a tough way to make a living as a quarterback in this league. That's why you got to be good on the early downs.
Matt, he just got reintroduced to Marcelino McCrary Ball in the old Oaken Bucket rivalry there between Purdue and Indiana.
Yeah, what he was able to do, though, is find that gap right away, and was able to take quick advantage of it. An offset nose tackle will do that for you.
Pressure off the edge, and it's Cleve Furl there to swing him down. He got around Justin Haram starting today at left tackle, and Furl with the sack.
Yeah, there's Clee coming off the edge and looking for kind of a middle route. It wasn't a deep route. His play action. Oh, he got beat right off the start.
He overset him.
Yep.
He jumped outside and got beat underneath.
Yep.
He's got to realize he's got some presence inside by the guard. Can't
use your help
inside.
Yeah, got to use your help.
So on 2nd and long, O'Connell with play action, fathering him with his second catch of the quarter. Nice grab to go up and make the catch. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 7 here for the Raiders.
Yeah, nice job also. Aiden O'Connell getting that ball out there under some pressure. You love his awareness. It's a guy, he's a smart player. It's a nice job. He's able to get that ball and reach out and pluck it. But O'Connell does a great job of staying in control. He knows what he can do, and he stays and understands what he can do, and he stays within that realm.
Some new tight end room this year as well. Austin Hooper and the rookie Michael Mayer either playing today. In and out of the hands of Trey Tucker and almost intercepted. He wouldn't have had the first down anyway. Ambry Thomas right there in coverage. But it'll be 4th down here, and they'll punt it away.
And he may have had a headache. Yeah, that safety was coming right to him. Nice throw, though, by O'Connell. Right where it had to be.
Well, that's his first incompletion here of the quarter. O'Connell started this game 4-4. So Ronnie Bell standing back at his 10-yard line awaiting the kick from A.J. Cole off of his 2nd straight Pro Bowl. No fair catch and great coverage. Roderick Teamer did that all year last season in special teams, and he stopped him dead in his tracks after a 43-yard punt.
Really like the work of Zamir White early, the 2nd-year pro from Georgia. He runs with a purpose. He's got a nose for the end zone.
The snap and the handoff to Gordon across the 40, down to the 35, and the ball is out! And Robertson has it in his stomach, and he's racing downfield for the Raiders. 50, 45, 40. Robertson near sideline 20, 10. Defensive touchdown, Raiders! Down to 5 on the play clock. Gets the snap. Hands off to Jacob. Stutters to the right. Bursts through the whole 20. 25-30. He's off to the races. Here in Seattle, nobody's going to catch him. 25-20. 10. Ball game. Bye-bye, Josh. 86 yards in overtime to walk it off for a 2nd straight week. Touchdown, Raiders. Victory, Las Vegas. Well, those were fun last year. Our thrilling moments brought to you by Yamava. Experience world-class gaming at Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. As that passes over the head of the tight end Dwelly. Must be 21 or over to enter. Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
You were a happy kid, weren't you?
Well, I mean,
you were always smiling. You were one of those kids. You were just happy.
You know, back in my 30s.
Yeah.
I just
about a week ago.
I just wish you had a little bit more energy on those calls.
Yeah, how about it?
But in all seriousness, I mean, you know, you look at the takeaway defensively, the ability to score on defense. You know, that when you look at the Raiders defensively, guys, that's what they have to do. They have to be able to create more negative plays. They have to be able to get the ball out. They have to get more pressure on the quarterback. You know, great defenses have great pass rushers and great cover corners and playmakers. And Matt, as you were saying earlier, I think there's more playmakers on this defense this year than a season ago.
Right on cue, Trey Lance had to escape. And he's going to run for his life on the far sideline. Malcolm Kuntz gave chase. That was Adam Butler, though, who got in for that initial pressure and almost had what would be a third sack of the quarter for the Raiders.
Yeah, Adam Butler, he's not going to like to watch this on tape. Did a nice job. So they forget to block him. They forget to block him. The guard slides down inside. He has a shot and misses it. Kuntz does a nice job of giving pressure to force him out of bounds and set up this third down.
And this is a big training camp, big preseason for Malcolm Kuntz. Third year out of Buffalo, was
Agreed.
a third-round pick in 2021.
Year 3 should be the year. Let's see what he can do here. He's got good speed.
Again, they get pressure up the middle. And a flag, and a sack. Butler doesn't let go this time. Adam Butler had him around the ankles. We'll see what the flag is, but as it stands, it's fourth down again.
Offense, number 63. That penalty's declined. Result of the play, fourth down.
Now, Matt, the 49ers, none of their starting offensive linemen playing in this ball game, but the Raiders' backup defensive linemen have had their way in the quarter.
Yeah, they've gotten after him pretty good so far. Especially, you know, part of the thing, though, right there, Trey Lance is holding on to the ball a little bit too long. He's not seeing the field quick enough. And that little bit of hesitation gives that defensive line an edge.
Well, it's really clear to see that the Raiders front is dominating the San Francisco offensive line.
Ooh, they almost got in there. Cam Sims almost got in there to block it. Amir Abdullah calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 36-yard line. 52-yard punt, no return. Raiders on offense next.
You know, there's nothing more unsettling for a young quarterback than to not be able to set your feet in the pocket, Matt. And the Raiders have done a terrific job disrupting the timing and rhythm of Trey Lance.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that because the coverage is pretty tight, he's not quite ready to pull the trigger, and just that little bit makes the difference.
You know, we haven't really seen that because he hasn't had a chance to just step up and throw yet.
Yeah, well, he's pumped it a couple times. He's not quite sure that he wants to make the throw.
That third overall pick in 2021. And remember, the Niners gave up so much to get him. And off again. Zamir White up through the middle. A couple of different offensive linemen in there. Jordan Meredith now getting some time for Aiden O'Connell, who started this game and has looked pretty good, Rich.
He's looked really good, and I just like his poise. I just remember studying him a little bit coming out in the draft. I mean, smart, well-prepared passer with good arm strength who can make all the throws. He can throw the ball in the move. He can throw the ball from the pocket. He's not going to make a lot of explosive plays with his legs. He's, you know, kind of like Garoppolo and Brian Hoyer. He's not really a runner. But he's a very instinctive passer that's got great anticipation and accuracy.
And a quick throw here to Philip Dorsett. Samuel Womack III coming up to make the stop.
See the difference right now. So Aiden O'Connell right now, he's not afraid to pull the trigger. He 1-2, bam, the ball's right out. And he can throw with accuracy. I watched him a lot at Purdue. I had a lot of his games. And this is the same type of offense. And trust me, Rich can attest to this. This is not an easy offense to learn. But he's done a really good job. Yeah, it's only 2 weeks into the season. Yeah. He's done very well.
Well, the Raiders and Josh McDaniels outgained the Niners 90 yards to 1 in the first quarter. Silver and black will have a third and short coming up on the other side. End of the first quarter, 7-0 Raiders the lead. You're watching Raiders football presented by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of the Las Vegas Raiders. Start of the second quarter here in Allegiant Stadium. Raiders leading the Niners 7-0.
Lucky guess.
Third and short for O'Connell to start the quarter. A lot of time, and delivers on time. Keelan Cole got past Isaiah Oliver, the free agent coming from Atlanta. It's a first down for Las Vegas on an 11-yard pickup.
And you said it right, Jace. A lot of time. Nice job up front by that offensive line to give him that time, and he's able to survey the whole field and allow that route to be able to develop.
The ball's coming out. I mean, he throws a nice ball, very catchable ball. Really important to get these receivers into the transition of the run. But I just like the way Aiden O'Connell's seeing the field right now.
Yeah.
He is 6 of 7 in the ballgame for 65 yards. Zamir White upended at the 45-yard line. Demetrius Flanagan Fowles making the stop.
A nice job by Flanagan Fowles over there. Took on one, took on two, and made the tackle.
Well, that is 10 first-half carries for Zamir White, the 2022 fourth-round pick.
Yeah, we got somebody down here on the 50. Can't see the number.
That is Dylan Parham, who was on his left knee out there for the Raiders.
You guys remember last preseason, a lot of different rotations up front along that offensive line. They were trying to find the 5 best players. And I think they got off to a bit of a slow start with that offensive line. It took them a little while to gel. As you said, man, I thought they were playing some of their better football late in the season.
Yeah.
So he walks over to the Raiders sideline.
Hopefully it's not anything. Maybe just a smack in the gut or lower.
Well, Natane Muti now at left guard, lined up next to Haran, with Horonis Grasu at center, and Meredith playing right guard with Thayer Mutford on the right tackle spot. It's again a handoff to Zamir White with a head of steam, and he's right near the first down marker. Curtis Robinson made the stop. But again, this has been the theme this entire first half, Rich, being able to have 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2.
Watch that fullback right there, that Schenker. He's going to take on that linebacker right in the hole. You got to stick your face right in, and he did. That's an outstanding job.
Well, this lead ISO with the tight ends and lined up in the queue as a fullback has been very effective for the Raiders here in the first half.
Any linebacker getting blocked by a tight end should hang his head in shame.
Well, it's happened a lot here in this opening half. White cannot get to the corner. Womack had him first, and McCrary Ball came up to clean it up. So they'll bring up 4th down and 1.
4-down territory.
Yeah. Well, you know Carlson can make 56 yards, but that's not what you're looking for here in the preseason.
No, it's a slam dunk for Carlson, but they you know, like you said, it's the preseason, and they get a look at these young players.
Let's see who wins the line of scrimmage right here. See if Josh chooses to go to the inside or off tackle here. I'm saying he's going to go inside.
Well, Aiden O'Connell's had a couple of QB sneaks already that have gotten a first down. It is a handoff, and White cuts it to the outside, and he swung down and didn't get there. He did not get there. Ambry Thomas came off the edge and made the stop for San Francisco. Well, they went for it on 4th, and San Francisco takes over on downs. Every Raiders game at Allegiant Stadium is the kickoff to an only Vegas experience. With the best live sports, entertainment, dining, nightlife, and more, you're always a winner in the greatest arena on earth. See more at visitlasvegas.com/sports. Ronnie Bell, the rookie out of Michigan, staying on his feet, and he's got the Niners' first down of the game. Ronnie Bell lasted to the 7th round before the Niners selected him, but Matt, he led Michigan in receiving 3 of the last 4 years.
Always been a productive guy, really tough. I thought that was a chance right there. You had Duke Shelley, who did a great job of getting off the block and getting in, didn't wrap. And the second guy who didn't wrap right there as well, and that was Jaquan Johnson. So you had your opportunities, you got to wrap up.
San Francisco had 1 yard of offense in the first quarter. Good cutback, Davis Price. Go inside the 43-yard line on a 4-yard pickup. Jenkins there to close it out.
Yeah, Malcolm Kuntz had a chance to hit him in the backfield, and he missed him. So you're getting opportunities now. You just got to make the tackle.
Rich, for San Francisco, very different quarterback group than going into last year when Jimmy Garoppolo was there. Trey Lance won the job. Had the ankle injury in week 2, and that cost him the rest of the season. And now it's Brock Purdy, who last year was the last pick of the draft. He had a whale of a rookie season. Lance completes the pass out to the edge. Troy Fumagalli, in his 5th year out of Wisconsin, has the first down for San Francisco.
Jason, it's amazing how quickly things change in this business. You know, Jimmy Garoppolo started the season. The 49ers were playing well. He gets hurt. He misses the last 8 games of the season, including the playoffs. And Brock Purdy steps in against the Miami Dolphins and really plays well. And then he gets on a roll. And then this organization, the 49ers, they fell in love with him. They loved a lot about his game. Meanwhile, Trey Lance was hurt, was rehabbing, and now is the odd man out.
Well, and he's in a battle with Sam Darnold for the backup job. He finds Chris Conley out in the flat. There is Duke Shelley this time, Matt, to have a surefire tackle.
Yeah, he's able to wrap and get help on top of it. This is the right thing to do right now with the 49er offense. So they're getting him out on the edge. They're giving him a simple throw. Get the ball out, get his confidence down instead of sitting in a pocket and guys are taking hits on him.
And I think that's where he's most comfortable, Matt, throwing the football. I don't think he's as comfortable throwing the ball from the pocket. I think he feels a lot more comfortable when they change the launch point and you get him out on the edge.
Pitch play out to Davis Price with blockers in front of him. He's got the first down. Jaquan Johnson came over to make the stop, but San Francisco, who last year had a top 10 run offense, of course that has Christian McCaffrey as part of it. George Kittle and Deebo Samuel not playing today.
So they're saying, okay, Duke Shelley, let's see how long you can stand up out there. We're going to run right at you, and we're going to bring a tight end or inside-out guy on you. So you have to step up as a corner.
So he has made a lot of plays in practice in the passing game, but he is a smaller corner, 5'8", 180 pounds out there on the outside.
And so you want to run him. You want to find out which of these corners can tackle and stick their nose in there and go get the football.
Lance going to take off. He dumps it late. Willie Snead.
That looked like he was over the line of scrimmage.
I thought so too. It is a first down on a 13-yard pickup to Willie Snead.
Yeah, just remember that the rule is any part of your body, if it's still behind, it's okay. So let's see exactly what. You see Trey Lance takes off.
I think he's okay. Yep.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, he jumped in the air also, so good job by Trey Lance.
So a first and goal for San Francisco. Pressure in his fights over the middle. Almost intercepted. It's a touchdown. Oh my goodness. Duke Shelley had the interception in the end zone, and Ross Dwelly, look what I found.
That goes from being a bad decision by the quarterback, an end zone, red zone interception to a touchdown for the 49ers.
Just like they drew it up.
Bad decision, bad throw, touchdown. I mean, you can't throw this football. He's throwing it back across the field, back his body, and Shelley's got the interception. He just isn't able to squeeze it. It gets out of his hands and falls right into the unexpected hands of Dwelly there.
Well, the emphasis this offseason for the Raiders defense, getting takeaways, getting their hands on more footballs than they had last year. Hands were there, but it's a touchdown for San Francisco instead. Trey Lance, for the first time, starting to settle in a little bit. Tie ball game here in the second quarter. Back inside Allegiant Stadium along with Rich Gannon and Matt Millen. Jason Horowitz, happy to have you with us. 7-7 ball game here in the second quarter. It's Alumni weekend. You guys took part in the alumni festivities. Some of your old pals, decades past, all leading up to the silver and black here.
What a great weekend, and really a credit to Mark Davis, the Raider organization, for welcoming so many alumni back to Las Vegas to celebrate.
Amir Abdullah bringing it out, and a penalty is going to bring this back. You know, there is that new rule in the NFL this year, fair catches anywhere inside of the 25, and as long as you make the fair catch on the signal, you can bring it out to the 25. Nobody in the preseason is doing that.
Receiving team number 85. It's a 10-yard penalty, first down, Las Vegas.
These special team coordinators, Jason, they want to see these blocks. They want to see them, you know, they want to see the returners And that's certainly a point of emphasis. The kicking game's so important during the regular season.
So Aiden O'Connell backed up here midway through the second quarter. He is 6 of 7 for 65 yards in his silver and black debut. To Amir Abdullah, gives him some space out to the 12-yard line on a 6-yard first down run as we welcome in, you know, you talk about offense, defense, special teams. Charles Woodson, who's joining us down from the Wynn Field Club. You're right there where that play is. How's that team looking, Charles?
Man, was looking good until that last play, man. Like, it's like, what's the worst that can happen on the play? And that actually happened. But I thought the first quarter, I thought our defense, the defensive line was really impressive. You know, getting to the quarterback, and us being able to drive down and get a score is great for us. So a lot of positives, you know, in this first part of the game. So happy to see it.
Charles, I'm curious to get your thoughts on what I think is going to be a reworked secondary. You bring over Marcus Epps, we add Marcus Peters. We've got Duke Shelley. I mean, just your thoughts on some guys that can get their hands on the football in the secondary.
Well, we just need Shelley to hold on to the ball, man. You know, if the ball hits your hands, you got to catch it, right? But having Epps, having Peters, having some guys that have experience in the league, the guys that have made a lot of plays. Marcus Peters has gotten his hands on a ton of balls throughout his career, a lot of interceptions in such a short period of time. So we're looking for him to kind of give that guidance, that experience, and for guys that actually like watch him in practice, making plays on the ball and kind of adding that to their game as well. So I'm excited to see that.
Speaking of making plays, how about Trey Tucker? Charles, you like his speed.
Hey, speed kills, man. You know what Al Davis was all about. He was all about speed. So you got to have some guys on the team that put fear in the defensive backfield. You know, guys that can really run. So yeah, love the speed, man.
That was a 35-yard hookup for O'Connell to Tucker, but I don't think Kyle Shanahan thinks he caught the football.
Well, we got to replay that.
Yeah, we got a challenge here in preseason too.
Hey, the thing about replays, man, you got to get it right though. Just get the replay right. Nobody cares about a replay, but just get the replay right.
Charles, you look at Trey Tucker, not very big. He's 5'9", 185, but he's got some suddenness to him, change of direction ability, straight line speed. You know, I remember talking to you over the years. Some of the toughest guys that you had to cover weren't the 6'3" long linear guys. They were those short guys that were so good getting in and out of cuts.
Yeah, and when you think about it, like the way the game is now is a game that's so spread out. You know, every team is coming out with 3 receivers, 4 receivers, 5 receivers, and they're just trying to get these guys in space. And so the more guys that you have with that suddenness that you can get the ball to, get it in their hands quickly, and then allow those guys to make a play after the catch, that's what the game is all about now. So having a guy like that, man, is huge for the Raiders.
Now, Charles, all this stuff could go for naught here. It looks like it's going to be a catch, but for me, I'm impressed right now with this Raider offensive line. He's giving them some time.
I think he trapped it.
Oh, he trapped it. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me watch it on the replay. Let me see if I can give y'all an idea of what happened here. Come on, let me get a replay.
Charles, I was a little surprised when you got done playing that you went into business. I thought you might be the official.
The receiver did not maintain contact with the ball.
Yeah, some of the calls I see each and every Sunday and Monday nights and Thursdays. I'm like, man, look, I saw what happened. Just make the call and get it right. I think I get it right at least 99% of the time.
You had a lot of conversations with officials on the field when we were playing. I do remember that.
Yeah, they were hating on me, Rich.
Tell me one time when an official loved a Raider. That'll be a first.
That's never happened.
I mean, I had a nice conversation at joint practice this week with one of our back judges. Does that count?
Yeah, that's it.
No, it doesn't count because it's not on actual game day.
All right.
Practice don't count.
Just curious. A.J. Cole set to punt it away. Charles, Michigan brethren, Ronnie Bell back deep to receive.
Yeah, Ronnie Bell, man. I mean, I love my Michigan guy, but I don't want him to do well today.
No, not today.
You know, because he's playing against the Raiders. But
no.
much love to my Michigan brother.
Yeah, that's Ja'Cory Bennett there on the tackle. Charles, thank you so much for joining us. Hall of Famer Charles Woodson, congratulations on everything you got going on, bud.
Appreciate it, man. Woodson Whiskey, official whiskey of the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's right, just announced this week. Tie ball game here in the second quarter. Well, you can find your quarterback through the draft, or you can find your quarterback through free agency. Rich Gannon came to the Raiders late in his career through free agency and had a wonderful run, including the 2002 league MVP. And, Rich, the Raiders are hoping they've hit that gold again with Jimmy Garoppolo now here in the silver and black.
Well, I think they've got a special player. You know, you look at Garoppolo, Jason, since 2017, ranks third among active quarterbacks in win percentage, almost 70%.
Sacked for the fourth time in the first half. The rookie, Amari Burney out of Florida with the secondary pressure to bring him down.
Nicely done by the secondary. Nicely done by not giving up on the backside by Burney. This is just, you're going to see it's pretty well blocked. They're going to try to come back. They're moving the pocket. Burney just runs him down from behind. Really well done.
And, Rich, to bring it back to your point about winning percentage by all quarterbacks since 2017, only Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson have a higher winning percentage.
Absolutely. You know, almost 70%. And Jason, when he's healthy, he has been extremely productive. And I just think that's going to be the key for Jimmy Garoppolo. He's got to play all 17 for the Raiders to have a chance to make the postseason.
That was really well done by Trey Lance, keeping that thing going and then finding the receiver coming back to the ball. So it's going to set up this third. It's third and long, but it could have been worse.
Yeah, Matt, back to the free agent quarterbacks and you look at those free agent quarterbacks, I mean, well above 500. Super Bowls for Plunk. You made it to a Super Bowl, Rich.
Yeah, look. There's a great opportunity for Jimmy Garoppolo. He brings a wealth of experience. He's been in a number of different systems. You know, in talking to Josh McDaniels, I mean, he's got that excellent foundation in the system from their time together. His system really hasn't changed.
Trey Lance finds Chris Conley across midfield. And the ninth-year pro out of Georgia has the 49ers first down.
Meek Robinson's got to be more of a presence in the middle of that. He's sitting there reading everything. He's going to drop down inside. You got to come back off that. He was in man. I'm sorry. He was in man, not sitting there in the zone.
Approaching 5 minutes to go here in this opening half. Hand off inside, and Birdie makes the tackle on Jordan Mason, second-year pro out of Georgia Tech. Didn't play a lot, Rich, the first part of last season, but Mason had a ton of carries down the stretch.
You know, one of the areas where I think the Raiders have to be better defensively is the linebacker position.
Agreed.
You know, your ability to get to make plays, tackles for losses, get pressure on the quarterback when you're the fifth rusher, and also the ability to make some plays in space, man.
Yeah.
You get your hands on some footballs. It can't always come from the secondary.
Pressure right up the middle. Lance stumps the screen, and Mason dropped it. Well, and to your point, it is, you know, we've talked at the beginning of this broadcast, yes, for the Raiders, it's a new quarterback room. It's a new tight end room. We've talked about the additions in the secondary. You know, the linebackers were here last year, but they're going to play a different role. This was Denzel Perriman's linebackers core to start the year last year.
So, and this is just my opinion, I think we got, our linebackers are too small. I think they're all like 225, 230. And it's a different game, and it's a speed game. But at one point, you got to stick your face right in the middle of his chest.
Like that. But Mason got away from the initial hit from Burney. Does not have the first down. Adam Butler at the bottom of that pile with Roderick Teamer. And it'll be fourth and about 1.5 yards for San Francisco when they'll leave the offense out on the field.
All right, let me make a distinction right here, okay? There's one thing about sticking a runner, right? That's the easy part. But the guy who you have to beat and win the battle at the line of scrimmage is the offensive lineman. And you cannot go up there and take him on with your hands. You have to take him on with your face. And you put a hole in his chest, and then you win.
And you can't run around him all the time. You got to be able to run through him sometimes.
Exactly.
Downhill with a purpose.
Yep.
Fourth down, timeout.
Timeout taken by Las Vegas.
First charge timeout. Las Vegas.
We'll keep it right here.
It's a 30-second timeout.
You know, I just think when you know, Matt, going back, you and I have had a lot of conversations over the years. I just remember as a Viking, as a Kansas City Chief coming in to play the Raiders, and you always worried about their defense, their mentality, their attitude, you know, how they play, their style of play. Like back in Matt's day, you weren't down until Matt Millen stepped on you and kicked you in the face. I mean, let's be honest. You know, and I'm not all I'm suggesting is that you have to. Every team has its own personality. Right. Every team has its own makeup and character. And defensively, the Raiders have to create a personality. And it has to get back to playing like the guy to my right played. Downhill, nasty, filthy, mean, kick you. I love Matt Millen.
I love playing that way. Unfortunately, I don't think I'd be able to play anymore.
I thought you were going to say, I love Matt Millen too. On a 4th and 2.
There it is.
There you go. Jordan Willis met him in the hole. Neil Farrell was there blocking up the middle. And it's the former 49er getting a 4th down stop.
Well, this is good. They
have to win at the line of scrimmage, Rich. If you're going to do anything, you've got to win at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the tight end missed the kick-out block, and Willis was there for the easy tackle. They don't block him. You got to block the end man on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's one of those things you don't block, you better make the play.
Well, defense has done some good things here in this opening half. 4 sacks, opening 3 drives for San Francisco. They were all 3 and out. And so it's Aiden O'Connell back to work with the best field position of the day. And Amir Abdullah with a 5-yard pickup.
You know, Amir Abdullah has been productive ever since he got out of Nebraska. Every place he's been, good play. He catches the ball well, excellent runner, good change of direction. One of those guys who runs with his eyes. I've always liked him.
Former 2nd-round pick of the Lions in 2015. You know, as a lot of running backs do later in their career, more of a 3rd down, catch the ball out of the backfield guy.
Yeah, not a real big guy, but he plays tough.
Quick throw again. Christian Wilkerson has the 1st down.
Rich, you got to like what you're seeing right here out of Aiden O'Connell.
I like his feet, Matt. Yep. I like his eyes. He knows where he's going with the football. He's been decisive. The ball's coming out quick.
That's what I like.
And he's very accurate. 6 of 8 for 65 yards, and he's making good decisions. He's not putting the ball in harm's way.
Well, and Rich, to your point, both of those incompletions, the first one was a flat-out drop, and the second one was a great ball, and Tucker just couldn't complete the catch to the ground. Fresh set of downs for O'Connell, who's firing deep downfield into traffic. And Ambry Thomas got a hand in front of Wilkerson to break it up.
That's good defense with the balls right there, right where it had to be.
Now, Christian Wilkerson, another one of those veteran wide receivers for the Raiders who are trying to figure out if they can be this 5th or 6th wide receiver on this team. Coming over from New England.
Yeah, he's just going to work across the field.
Route. Yep. And that ball is maybe a tad, just a tad behind.
On a 2nd down, pressure in his face. O'Connell got away from it and throws it away.
There's a flag.
Yeah, in the secondary, a flag.
That was well done by O'Connell. They have an unblocked player on the line of scrimmage, and he does a nice job making a miss.
Who said he can't escape pressure?
He did.
Holding. Defense. Number 44. It's a 5-yard penalty and automatic 1st down.
You got to be careful with these naked, these plays where you don't have the end man on the line of scrimmage blocked. That's a nice job by O'Connell, keeping the ball in a throwing position, avoiding the negative play, avoiding the sack.
That's a really good job. That fake, pump fake. Got him in the air, ducked him.
Something you see a lot around the league in the opening preseason game, a lot of penalties. We have not had a ton of those during this first preseason game for these 2 teams. Amir Abdullah picks up about 4 yards.
That was an outstanding 4-yard run. I mean, geez. He made like 4 guys miss.
So we saw a lot of Zamir White. He had 13 carries here in this opening half. Might be done for the day as it's now Amir Abdullah. As we have come to the 2-minute warning here in the 2nd quarter. Josh McDaniels and the Raiders tied with the Niners at 7. You're watching Raiders football presented by Visit Vegas. Back inside Allegiant Stadium, 2-minute warning. Raiders on the move, 7-7. Here against San Francisco, 40th all-time preseason matchup for these two franchises. And Aiden O'Connell has looked good in his NFL debut.
Looks like a little man action here. Maybe they'll bring something.
On a 2nd and 6, out of the timeout. Quick throw. They set up the wide receiver screen. Cole bounces off. Has the first down to the 30. You know, so much in the offseason, the addition of Jacoby Myers and the rookie Trey Tucker. But Keelan Cole made some big catches for Las Vegas last year.
I really like that screen on 2nd down.
Good call.
Get the lineman out in front. Josh McDaniels historically has always been a coach that has had a team that has been very good in the screen game. Just getting players out in space, whether it's the running backs, the receivers, or even the tight ends.
Takes a lot of coordination with that offensive line. You got to get on the same page.
You got to have some guys, Matt, that can get out and run. The big guys have to be able to get out and run and cut on the 2nd level.
Pressure up the middle. O'Connell into the pocket and delivers. Cole Fotheringham with his 3rd catch of the opening half. In his 2nd year out of Utah, and it's 1st down for the Raiders.
You said it right, Chase. Nice job of protection. Really well done. You're going to watch it inside.
Really nice job. Watch him step up inside, Matt. You talked about that ability to step up inside in the pocket and get the ball out on time.
There's a big difference. And this is a second to 3rd team offensive line that's playing right now. They're doing a nice job up front here.
Toss play to Amir Abdullah, head of steam. They're wrapped up around the ankles. Curtis Robinson, his 3rd year out of Stanford, made the stop as we'll tick inside of a minute to go here in the 2nd quarter. And Rich, this is a weekend. Bryce Young, 1st overall pick, struggled. C.J. Stroud for Houston struggled at New England. Aiden O'Connell has not looked like a rookie here against San Francisco.
And he's not a 1st-round pick either. He's a 4th-round pick. It really had to claw and scratch his way to the top at Purdue, and I think he's a quarterback that's come in here and done a nice job picking up the system and looking comfortable early.
On 2nd down, touchdown, Keelan Cole. Right on cue. Aiden O'Connell with his 1st touchdown pass as a pro.
Yeah, you talk about timing. That was perfect. 1, 2, 3, ball was out. Put it in the only place it could be. Touchdown. Really well done by Aiden O'Connell.
Just a little out route from the slot. Really nice route. It's going to come off the backside of the screen.
1, 2, 3, bam. That's it. Perfect. Excellent timing. Excellent accuracy.
Well done.
Yeah, that's hard to stop right there.
Made it look easy.
Yep.
Cole got the low snap down on an 8-play, 60-yard drive that took a little more than 3 minutes off the clock. You know, we all remember the Chandler Jones touchdown last year against New England. Something we may never see again in our lifetime, but it was Keelan Cole who caught the touchdown pass in the back corner of the end zone to tie that game with 35 seconds to go.
Look how quick the decision is and the ball comes out. I mean, the nickel corner doesn't even have a chance.
So if you compare and contrast, you're looking right now at both quarterbacks. The difference really is the ability to be able to make the quick decision. It's there, bam, ball comes right out. Really well done by Aiden O'Connell.
I think you're right, Matt. It's the ability to process, the ability to anticipate, the ability to walk the line of scrimmage and look at the shell of the secondary, know where you're going to go with the ball before the ball's even snapped. And it's unusual to see that from a young, inexperienced rookie quarterback.
Well, and how about this, too? Offensively and defensively. The only penalty on the Raiders in this 1st half was on special teams. It was a block in the back.
Yeah, they got to work on that.
You want more?
The old Raider defenses were like, if you didn't have 10, you had a bad day.
Well, don't worry. They were 30th in the league last year at penalties. Christopher Smith down again.
Well, historically, they've led the league in that area.
Yep.
And, you know, you listen to Dave Ziegler, you listen to Josh McDaniels, guys, and what you hear, the constant theme that you hear over and over again when they're talking about the evaluation of players, scouting and pro players and college players. You can never have enough players who are smart, tough, and physical. And I think smart football players, you know, you can't. I always say, Matt, it's hard to win with guys who make dumb mistakes in critical situations. You got to be a smart football team. I think we're seeing more and more of that with Josh McDaniels.
That was the best protection. It lands through the right to Bernie. The rookie out of Florida, the former safety, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in.
Nice job by Bernie. It's a great job of keeping his eyes back on the quarterback. He's got the good depth, and then he makes a nice break. Really well done.
He's right here. I mean, just look at him. He's gonna read the quarterback the whole way. And this is just the young quarterback not seen out in front of throws. That should have been an easy interception down in the red zone.
Niners do have 3 timeouts here with 24 seconds. Another big throw. This time it's Conley sitting down. And Kyle Shanahan will take his first of 3 timeouts as that goes out across the 40-yard line for a 25-yard pickup.
Got to get better depth at the second level.
30-second timeout.
Well, a couple of different times now, the Raiders have had opportunities to intercept Trey Lance. One bounced off Duke Shelley's hands. That's the touchdown for San Francisco. And then Amari Burney again had that opportunity on the pass before that.
Yeah, this is a nice break on the ball by Bernie. Yeah, that should have been a pick.
No, I see better hands on a clock, Jason. Look, at the end of the day, there's a reason why some of these guys are playing defense and not offense, man. I'm just saying.
They're much too smart for offense.
They need to spend extra time on that jugs machine.
He had a massive interception early last year for Florida. Picked off Utah in the end zone to steal that win. Lance over the middle again.
Got a wrap.
Did not make the tackle. Jaquan Johnson had a chance to make the tackle. Instead, Troy Fumagalli takes it inside the 40 on a 21-yard pickup.
Hits don't matter, tackles do. So you had a nice hit, but you didn't wrap him up. You got to take the guy to the ground. That's the only thing that matters in a tackle.
Matt, why are we seeing more and more safeties and corners go in?
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 26, use of the helmet foul. The 15-yard penalty at the end of the play, automatic first down.
Use of the helmet foul.
Well, that goes into the emphasis that's put on there on protecting players.
Just watch him go in here, and that's the bad call. He goes in with the shoulder, and that is not a very good call by the officials.
It's also a terrible job of not even attempting to wrap up.
Yeah, these guys go in and they lower their shoulder or helmet and just try and strike the defender without wrapping up with their arms.
Lance hit as he throws for the end zone, and Conley pushed off Duke Shelley.
He just pushed him. I can't believe when you see the separation all of a sudden become that significant as a back judge or a side judge, you got to throw the flag.
He got him 7 yards away from the football.
Nice job of Malcolm Kuntz coming off the edges right here on the left side. Makes him step up, and then from the inside, he got some pressure as well. Forced that throw.
Now, so Trey Lance led him down the field in a 40-yard field goal attempt for Jake Moody, the rookie out of Michigan. And a timeout taken.
Second charge timeout, Las Vegas. This is a 30-second timeout.
Josh McDaniels will talk this one over here before Jake Moody gets a chance to take this kick.
All you can tell him is just give him the ooga booga. That's about it.
Now, this is a weekend here, Matt. It is alumni weekend, and the commitment to excellence on and off the field laid the foundation, certainly, for Raiders organization success. Mark Davis continuing to celebrate and honor Raiders alumni in ways unlike really any NFL owner. And these men continue to carry on that Raiders legacy, tradition, brotherhood. They embody that mantra: once a Raider, always a Raider.
That is not only spoken about, that is preached heavily right here.
That event last night at Caesars. Both of you had a chance to take part in that. So Jake Moody, third-round pick out of Michigan, the Luke Rosa Award winner with a 40-yard kick.
Swing and a miss.
And he missed it wide left.
Take that apple out of your throat.
That is the end of the first half.
Now the first kicker taken in this year's draft misses his first attempt at an NFL field goal.
Well, it won't be the last, and he'll kick a lot of important field goals as well. You got to learn every place you go.
really good first half of football if you're the Raiders. I mean, you got to be pleased with what you saw from your defense, your ability to create, disrupt, get around the quarterback offensively. Very efficient. So impressed with what I saw from the Raiders' 4th-round pick, Aiden O'Connell. Jason, he looks very comfortable back there in the pocket.
Yeah, no question. Aiden O'Connell, 10 of 13 in his first half in the league. 107 yards and a touchdown pass to Keelan Cole.
And as Rich can tell you, a good quarterback who makes quick decisions makes your offensive line even better.
Going to get Josh McDaniels here in just a sec. As we welcome in the head coach of the Raiders, Josh McDaniels. Go ahead, Rich.
Coach, you got to be pleased with what you saw in the first half, especially from your young quarterback. Well, I could answer for Josh McDaniels. Here's what he's saying. He's saying, hey, look, Rich, I think he's looked really comfortable. He's throwing the ball well. Coach, can you hear us? Coach, can you hear us? Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Just to recap, just your thoughts on what we saw in the first half. You have to be impressed with what you saw from your young quarterback.
Coach, we're going to let you get back into the locker room with those technical difficulties, but thank you very much. 14-7. Raiders the lead over the Niners at the half. Halftime here inside Allegiant Stadium. What it means to be a Raider next. It's halftime here inside Allegiant Stadium between the 49ers and your Raiders. And the silver and black, well, it's a brotherhood unlike any in the NFL where former players have a voice and certainly a presence. Charles Woodson recently spoke to the team on the importance of being a Raider.
When it comes to winning, it's really up to you. And so what we all want, all of us who played here, is we want you to win. We want you to succeed. I bought into it, you know what I'm saying, early. Like I had all of these old, Raiders, the fabric of the team that was always around. And they were able to make me understand what it was like to be a Raider. And so what we all want, for all of the guys that are in this room right now, we want you to buy in to being a Raider.
NFL free agency is set to officially start this afternoon.
Tyreek, we're going to turn the pick in here and you're going to be a Raider. Just wanted to congratulate you.
Like, this is a great organization. Like, unbelievable organization with unbelievable history. So think about it. Think about where you at, man. Think about the luxury that you have. Think about the history that you have sitting up here. I heard Max say, if you out here, I heard him at the practice today. So we out here to work, man. If you ain't out here to work, man, don't be out here, man. That's the mentality you gotta have. Y'all got an opportunity, man. The city is waiting. You don't understand the kind of love that you can receive from the city. If you win, you got to look at yourself and say, are you a Raider?
Welcome back to Allegiant Stadium, home of today against the Niners, and at the end of the year, Super Bowl 58. Earlier this offseason, head coach Josh McDaniels was wired for sound, and Mic'd Up is brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, the official soft drink of the Las Vegas Raiders.
How old are those shorts?
They're comfy.
They look old. Plus, they're so long on you.
This is my short lower coaster.
And don't keep the communication a secret. Don't keep it a secret. Yell it out, because we got some noise, right? We got noise today. 2nd and 1, first quarter. 2nd and 1, first quarter. 2nd and 20. 2nd and 20. Good play, Jacorian. That's it. That's it. That's it. Oh, boy. Got him. Got him. Got him. Got him. Got him. Good. That's it. That's it. One thing you do know is that's the key. Like, that's the key to really giving yourself time to figure out where he's going to try to, what he's going to try to take away. Hey, is this a sibling rivalry?
Yeah, it is.
Right now?
He's making me a lot of right now.
Hey, we need a great look over there, all right? Great look, no excuses.
Start of the second half here in Allegiant Stadium. Raiders leading the Niners 14-7, along with Matt Millen, Rich Gannon, Jason Horowitz. Happy to have you back with us here in Las Vegas. San Francisco went down on the last 39 seconds of the first half, but Jake Moody missed a 40-yard field goal. Keelan Cole had a touchdown catch at the end of the second quarter. He's back deep to receive this kickoff.
Jake Moody stayed out on the field at halftime to work on some of those placements. That's something you typically see from a rookie kicker.
And it's Trey Tucker coming out from the 2-yard line with a hole, and he's drilled. Braden Willis, backup tight end for San Francisco, down on special teams, the rookie out of Oklahoma. As we take a look at the first half stats, and the two things that stand out: third down conversions, which for the Raiders on offense, and the sacks on defense.
Well, I think getting off the field, as you said, the sacks are big plays, disruptive plays. I like the way the Raiders also offensively ran the ball. Good mix of play action and run game, and just they play with a better purpose, Matt, you know, a better sense of urgency in the first half.
Yeah, what I really liked was the poise out of the quarterback position. Here it is again.
Yeah, and he found Philip Dorsett sitting down in a hole.
He is playing really well right now. This is just a really good-looking rookie playing quarterback. He's being protected. He's getting the ball out of his hands fast. He's reading things really well, and he's accurate with the football.
And he's been really good off of play action. You see him turn his head to the line of scrimmage and wheel around and find Dorsett on the in cut.
He is 11 of 14 in this ball game. 2 of those incompletions were drops. It's Trey Tucker on the sweep to the outside, and he couldn't get the corner. Trey Swilling was out there, so too to make the finish, D. Winters, the rookie out of TCU.
I think you're just trying to find creative ways to get the ball into the hands of Trey Tucker, 2-year starter at Cincinnati. He's got excellent return skills as well. It's an area where he can help as well, but I think he's going to contribute on offense as a gadget weapon and a slot receiver. I think you're just trying to find creative ways to get Trey Tucker in space.
Well, one of the other things that stood out from that opening half, the offensive line protected well and opened up holes. He gets out on the boot, and Cole Fotheringham makes another catch. He's got his 4th of the ball game and a first down for the Raiders.
Accurate. He's so accurate. The ball is always in the right place.
I like how they changed the launch point.
Yep,
off the play action. You see the boot. You see the tight end working across the field. Good throw on the move from O'Connell.
And Rich, the thing with O'Connell, if he sees it, he throws it.
Yep.
There's no thought in between. He's anticipating things well, and he's accurate with the football.
We always say if you wait, you're late.
Exactly.
O'Connell has completed his last 5 passes. Sincere McCormick, his first carry for the silver and black, and he's got a few yards. Brought down by Alex Barrett from behind. Sincere McCormick, last year an undrafted free agent, signed with the Raiders. Tore his ACL in May, so he had to go on IR all last season. But there's a spot on this roster for him. Zamir White got all those carries, and yes, Brandon Bolden not playing Britton Brown, but Sincere McCormick, Rich, is a guy who was top 10 in college football in rushing yards in 2021.
You know, Jason, the competition for some key spots at wide receiver, at running back, are going to be very interesting here the next couple of weeks.
And he made the first man miss to pick up a couple more yards. And that's always the case. There's always positions and spots up for grabs.
Yeah, and I think you look at some of the significant adds that the Raiders have made offensively at wide receiver. Jacoby Myers, Philip Dorsett, DeAndre Carter, Cam Sims. It's going to be... You can't keep all of them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think you look at the running back position, these are always difficult decisions. And sometimes, as Matt knows, as a former general manager, sometimes it comes down to where else can you contribute? Can you make some plays on special teams?
That 3rd tight end spot, too. We've seen Cole Fotheringham make a pitch for it. McCormick stayed on his feet and maybe got close to that first down. He rolled over the defender.
They rolled on top of him. I don't know if he was out of bounds at that point or not, but he stayed on top of the defender, didn't go down.
Matt, he's a stout guy, right? 5'9", 205 pounds, tough to bring down.
He's got some good toughness. I just like the way he runs. He runs hard.
Well, we saw the Raiders go for it on 4th and 1 in the first half. This from 4th and 2, and so they send out Daniel Carlson from 53 yards. Last year was 11 of 13 from 50-plus. Good snap, solid hold, and the line drive kick is good. So the Raiders had an opening drive touchdown in the first quarter, and they've got opening drive points here in the third quarter. Josh McDaniels' offense looking impressive here in the preseason. The home of Super Bowl 58 right here in Las Vegas, Allegiant Stadium. And the Raiders here this afternoon to open the preseason have a 17-7 lead after a 53-yard field goal by Daniel Carlson. I think we take it for granted just how good he actually is.
He got a big leg. Big leg.
Deshaun Jameson, rookie out of Texas, takes it across the 20, breaks out of a tackle. And a flag flies as he takes San Francisco out to the 40-yard line. Sam Webb rode him to the turf, but this one's coming back.
It's where you see a lot of penalties show up in the preseason, in the kicking game. You get a lot of young players playing special teams for the first time. They didn't do a lot of it in college.
During the return, holding receiving team number 81. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
All right, so that'll back up San Francisco for Sam Darnold, who makes his 49ers debut. Trey Lance had the first half. Bunch of sacks, bunch of mistakes. The former 3rd overall pick of the Jets now getting an opportunity, Rich, in what is a legitimate quarterback battle for the backup spots of Brock Purdy.
And Jason, when it comes to Sam Darnold, it's all about taking care of the football. He had a problem with it at USC. 37 turnovers in 26 games. He's got 55 starts under his belt in the National Football League. He's turned it over 78 times.
And he's got a big arm.
Flag flies. That was a good pass that Tay Martin, the second-year pro out of Oklahoma State, couldn't bring in.
But you can't make the easy throws look difficult. I had a coach tell me that one time. You're throwing a little 6-yard quick out. You got to hit them. You got to hit all of them. Can't miss the easy ones.
Don't make the easy ones look difficult.
Offense. The wide receiver covered up the tight end. The 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And you know, Rich, Sam Darnold's on his 3rd team. The Jets, last couple years with the Panthers, he has had success. His second year, they were 7-6, threw for 3,000 yards. They were 4-2 last year when he came back from the injury that he suffered in preseason. But you're right, the inconsistency is a problem.
He's a very talented thrower. He's got some athleticism. He can make plays outside the pocket. The biggest question, the biggest issue has been the decision making. And if you don't take care of the football at this level, you don't wind up playing a lot.
A draw play to Davis Price, and the Raiders were all over it right from the start. Isaac Rochelle tripped him up.
There are consequences for your behavior, I always say. You know, if you're a quarterback and you turn the ball over, you're not going to play very long. And that's been the problem with Sam Darnold.
I truly thought that was about to be advice for my 3 children.
There are consequences. Hey, I played for a coach.
They're watching.
He said, you turn it over. He says, I'm not even going to keep you on the team. You're not going to start. He said, I won't even keep you on the team.
2nd and 14 for Darnold. Comes up throwing. Ronnie Bell. Fingertip grab.
Great throw. Right where it had to be. Led him perfectly. Ronnie Bell does a nice job of bringing that ball in.
Azizi Hearn, the rookie out of UCLA in coverage, but to your point, Matt, perfect throw.
Yeah, this is what he has been inconsistent. I agree with you, and giving up the picks is a big deal. But he's capable of this a lot, and he like Rich said, he's a great thrower. He just has been inconsistent.
They went for 38 yards. Niners have it on the 43-yard line. Davis Price and another flag. Rochelle came up to make another tackle. Jaden Grant, the rookie out of Oregon State, back there as well.
Looks like it's going to go against the 49ers. Illegal motion.
Illegal formation. Offense. Wide receiver covered up number 8.
Boy, they can't get lined up. That's not a good thing. That'll drive Kyle Shanahan crazy. And Sam Darnold.
Well, we only had 3 total penalties in the first half. We have surpassed that here in the first 5.5 minutes of the second half. On 1st and 15 again for Sam Darnold. Pressure off the edge. Quick throw. It's caught by Winstead right in front of Azizi Hearn. He got the penalty yardage back. Isaiah Winstead, the 6'4" rookie out of East Carolina.
Hearn did a nice job just keeping the defender in front of him. Make the tackle set with the 2nd down.
Sometimes you find a corner you like, Matt. You know, you have some success. You like a matchup. You just kind of go after them.
Yep.
And if they're not going to give him help over the top, it's got to find out whether or not he can hold up in coverage one-on-one. Another opportunity here.
Davis Price on the toss play, and he ran right into a wall. He had nowhere to go. Darian Butler from the linebacker spot. Rochelle was chasing down the line of scrimmage.
It's a nice job of a read with Darian Butler. Read that thing, get right down the line of scrimmage, and then attack it.
Yeah, I like the way this Raider front is getting off of blocks. We saw a lot of it in the first half. Using their hands, getting off of blocks, and making tackles at or around the line of scrimmage.
When they got off the field on 3rd down in the first half, San Francisco was 1 of 5 on 3rd down.
And they're getting pressure with the 4-man rush.
They're bringing a 5th right now.
Niners picked it up, and that's straight from Darnold. Beautiful ball to the corner to Tay Martin. And again, Matt, to your point, it was against Azizi Hearn.
Yeah, Hearn's out there one-on-one. They brought the extra guy inside, so you're going to match up in man. And so here he is. He's keeping in front. He's not going to get beat deep.
Too much of a cushion, Matt. You can't even see him on this ISO screen.
Yeah.
That's just an easy throw for Sam Darnold. Pitch and catch.
Go back to the ground with Mason. And Jordan Mason, 9 yards before Curtis Bolton made the stop. It was Azizi Hearn's helmet that went flying. Well, again, we saw a lot. The starters for the Raiders defense, I should say the expected starters, did not suit up today, did not play today. Did a really nice job. They held San Francisco to 1 yard of offense in the first quarter, but the Niners have started to pick things up.
It's a good example of sticking your face in there, man.
Mason's backed up, and again it's Rochelle down at the bottom of the pile. Well, one of the conversations here in training camp, Matt, has been the depth of the defensive line this year, which they didn't have last season, and we're starting to see that today.
Yeah, and they're what they are, you have to be fundamentally sound first before anything else. And what that means, you have to play low, take your guy on, control him, control the line of scrimmage. So far, we've seen a pretty good job of that today on this defense.
And it hasn't been with the drafted rookies, not Byron Young. We haven't seen Tyree Wilson, of course, still waiting to get his first action, trying to come off the list. They hit him in the hole, and we'll see where they mark him.
He's short.
I think he's short.
This is 4-down territory as well.
Yeah.
Penetration, that gets you every time in a short yardage and goal line situation.
Yeah, you can see Kyle Shanahan's like, get going.
Yeah, look at the penetration.
He's waiting for a push.
Oh, he's not getting it.
He didn't get it on the initial stop, and then Hearn is there around mark.
That's not a first down, and that is going the other way.
Well, Rich, USC made the push famous, which is now a big part of the NFL, and the Eagles did it a lot last year, but that didn't work.
Well, Sam Darnold is no Jalen Hurts. You know, some quarterbacks are really good at it, and others not so much.
How about the job by Neil Farrell getting the push up the middle? Defense with a stand. Well, until last year, Marcus Allen, the last Raider to top 2,000 yards from scrimmage, did that in 1985. Josh Jacobs did it last year for the Silver and Black. Here with 5:38 to go in the third quarter, and the Raiders leading the Niners 17-7. It's a handoff to Sincere McCormick, who picks up about 4 yards.
One thing that I really respected about Marcus Allen was he was tough as nails. And if you asked him to be a blocker, he'd be a blocker. When Bo showed up, he went right to fullback, didn't skip a beat. Everything he did exceptionally well. A true Hall of Famer.
You know, I was lucky to get an opportunity to play with him in Kansas City, man. And I always say, you know, your best players are your smartest, your toughest, and your hardest working. And that was Marcus Allen.
Low throw from O'Connell is corralled.
You know, Marcus would sit there in the backfield when Steve Bono was our quarterback, and he would say, no, 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 you can't run this play. Like, before Bono could even get the audible out, Marcus would see it, process it, and say, no, 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 no.
You misunderstood him. He was going, Bono, 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 Bono.
He was I think two of the smartest players I played with were Marcus Allen and Tim Brown. Tim Brown was another one. You could just put the whole game plan on a Wednesday. He'd go out and play Wednesday afternoon. He had a photographic memory.
That was Steve Young.
Yeah.
Steve Young was phenomenal.
Third down and 6 for O'Connell. A quick throw to Keelan Cole. And a nice tackle. Quantrez Knight, second year out of UCLA, came up to make the stick. Well, it is alumni weekend. Raiders from all the way back to the first team in 1960, all the way up to now, all here in Las Vegas, Matt. And, you know, you were talking about, Rich, when Jerry Rice joined the team and what type of work ethic that he had to add to the roster.
You know, your best players, Jason, are your hardest working. It rubs off on everybody. If Jerry Rice is staying out to practice running sprints and gassers, then everybody else should be doing it. You know, I think there's a common theme, you know, and the coaches talk about it all the time. Josh McDaniels, we want smart, tough, physical players who are competitive, who like to do everything. They want to practice. They want to be in the meeting rooms. They want to be in the weight room. They want to do it all. You can never have enough of those type of players.
Niners taking over on the other side. There's a flag thrown by midfield.
Jerry Rice used to drive me crazy. I would go, how can you keep on going? Who are you?
During the kick.
It's unbelievable.
Receiving team number 53. That throws half the distance from the end of the kick. It'll be first down.
Right,
Timeout.
So Niners will be backed up a little bit after that. 3:29 to go in the third quarter. Raiders defense has played well. Did not see Jimmy Garoppolo today. It's been all Aiden O'Connell. Trey Lance started for San Francisco. Sam Darnold did now for a second series. And the ball is out. Left to lost the ball. The Raiders have it.
They threw the beanbag. They'll look at this to see if the knee was down before that ball came out.
That is a ZZ Hearn on the fumble recovery.
It looked like the ball may have been coming loose.
The ruling on the field is a completion and a fumble recovered by Las Vegas. First down and 10.
Oh, yeah, it's out.
That's out. Yeah, before the knee was down.
That's Curtis Bolton who got in there to punch that out.
Oh, yeah, it's coming out.
That's a fumble.
Wow, what a great play. What an alert play. This is what we talked about, creating more turnovers defensively, getting your hands on footballs, being around the football. That was a great play by that Raider defense.
And the Raiders had 2 dropped interceptions in the first half. That fumble recovery, so they've certainly improved that here in the opener of the preseason. McCormick got a block and turned it upfield and takes it inside the 10.
And good offenses have the ability to take advantage of turnovers and field position. And an area where the Raiders have to improve is down in the red zone. They were just 26th the season ago in red zone efficiency. You can't settle for field goals in this part of the field.
There's some costly turnovers in the red zone as the year went on, and in so many games that were decided by one score, those can make the difference. 13 of the 17 games last year, one-score games. O'Connell finds Wilkerson, and the fingertip grab in front of Deshaun Jameson as the first down for the Raiders.
That's a nice read right off the line of scrimmage for O'Connell. He knew he was going to have a single on the outside. And he went with that out route, and the ball's right where it had to be. Really well done, Rich.
He's really good in the quick game, Matt. He gets the ball out really quickly from his hands. And he's been very accurate with those out-breaking cuts.
For every Raiders first down at Allegiant Stadium this year, America First Credit Union donating $100 to a local charity. It's first and goal. McCormick on the handoff. And he pushes his way down to the 2-yard line. Austin Bryant down there at the bottom of the pile with Jalen Graham.
Josh McDaniels and the offensive staff have done a really nice job preparing these young players, particularly their quarterback, Aiden O'Connell, who's looked anything but like a rookie. He's been very poised. He's making good decisions. He's got good footwork. He's not holding the football, Matt. It's coming out on time. He's looked fantastic here.
I agree with you.
And he's had protection. He has not been sacked in this ballgame more than once. McCormick knocks it in. Touchdown, Sincere McCormick. Touchdown, Raiders.
Well, that Raider offensive line, they're knocking people back off the line of scrimmage.
Now, this isn't the first offensive line, and it's not the first defensive line, but they're winning the line of scrimmage.
Well, and so much over the last few years about these joint practices that teams are having, Rich, and we saw the Niners and the Raiders Thursday and Friday, and there were a lot of takeaways that the lines were dominated by the Raiders. And, you know, those carry over, do they not? Their practices, but here today it's happening again.
Yeah, we saw a lot of the Raiders starters go against that San Francisco front seven, a very good San Francisco front seven a year ago, one of the best defenses in football, and I thought the Raiders did a great job getting after them. I think they matched their intensity. Josh McDaniels has talked at great lengths about their conditioning.
So the takeaway for the Raiders defense, to points on the other side. And they got a lot to write about for the opener in the preseason. 24-7 Raiders leading the 49ers. And the kick sails well over Jameson's head, and it'll come out for a touchback. Well, it is Alumni Weekend. We've been talking about that all throughout the day. Matt, Henry Lawrence was up by the torch singing with the in-house stadium band. You know, I know he's known for his mean streak as an offensive lineman. He's got Benny King down.
Offside.
That's Killer. We call him Killer. He was the singingest lineman I've ever seen in my life. He loved to sing. You give him an opportunity, he can hit the notes too. That man right there, let me tell you something. That man ate more food before a game than any person I've ever seen. He would stack the deck, man. I don't know how he played.
And we played well.
That's some great Raider offensive lines, man. You talk about that offensive line, man. Any quarterback would dream to play behind a bunch of Hall of Famers. Gene Upshaw, Art Shell.
That was really good offensive line.
Davis Price with a good block on the right side. Takes it out to the 38-yard line. Matt, your takeaways from the Raiders defense here through almost 3 quarters.
Well, I think, first of all, good discipline. That's the first thing you look for, right? Second thing is if they have a tackle, there have been a couple missed tackles, but for the most part, they've done a good job in terms of tackling and kept everything in front of them. I think they're doing exactly what they wanted to get done.
I think they've been disruptive, and the other thing that's been a positive, they're not getting up a lot of the explosive plays in the running game or the passing game.
Yeah, that's right there. Okay, so they picked up the first, they picked up 3 yards. Got into the block, got off of them, make the tackle. That's exactly what you're looking for.
There's been a lot of emphasis in that defensive meeting room. The fact that they're year 2 within the system. We typically see a lot of improvement from year 1 to year 2. And one of the areas that's been a point of emphasis is the communication, right? Better communication on all 3 levels of the defense. I think we tend to see that in year 2. And that usually when there's a problem defensively, man, it's a breakdown in communication.
Yeah, it happens a lot. In year 2, you can start to anticipate more what they're doing.
Almost intercepted again. That's the rookie, Christopher Smith out of Georgia. The All-American who was always around the football for the national champions the last 2 years.
And that was a bad decision by the veteran quarterback. I mean, look at that. You're throwing the ball down the middle. You got 3. You know what we call that? We call that cover 3. You say, well, cover 3, what do you mean? Yeah, there's 3 guys in the black jerseys around 1 guy in the white jersey.
They're covering them.
Don't throw it to him.
Well, and that was one of the 3 Butlers on the defensive side of the ball who got his hand on it. That Darian Butler, Matthew Butler, Adam Butler, part of the defensive line.
Can't throw the ball late down the middle. Bad things happen when you do that.
Also, the Niners don't have a Butler, so don't throw it to Butler. That's Ronnie Bell, who went up and made a great catch in traffic.
Ronnie Bell's done having a nice game here today.
Between two Raiders defenders for 16 yards, which will bring us to the end of the third quarter. Raiders leading the Niners 24-7. You're watching Raiders football presented by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, the official soft drink of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Get your motor running, headed on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way. Yeah, darling, go make it happen. Take the world in another breeze. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space like a true nature's child.
Steppenwolf performed at halftime right onto the torch here inside Allegiant Stadium. I would say Born to be Wild certainly embodies the Raider way, wouldn't you? Matt Millen, Rich Gannon, Jason Horowitz back with you here. Matt, that's your Raider way, right? Born to be Wild?
Yeah, that's what they always said. I don't know if I ever believed it.
I'm pretty sure I have seen pictures that show you believe it. On 1st and 10, the pitch to Davis Price. And he steps out of bounds just shy of the 40. Darian Butler has been all around the football, the second-year pro out of Arizona State.
He had a preseason like this last year as well. He's always around the football, good special teams player. There's a place for this. There's a place for him in this football team, but good tackler, understands good leverage, understands the angles. I like watching him play.
Well, you got some of those rookies on the defensive line for the Raiders right now. Adam Plant, undrafted free agent out of UNLV and a Las Vegas native. Nesta Jade Silvero, 7th-round pick out of Arizona State. That's Bolton up the middle. Darling got out of there and he throws it away. But again, the pressure, Rich, has come right up the gut on a lot of these pass plays.
And that's where you want to see it. I mean, we talk a lot about edge pressure, but when you can get pressure up inside, I mean, that makes it impossible for the quarterback to sit in there. Then what happens is he has to get out. You flush him from the pocket, he has nowhere to go with the football.
And he blitzed the back. Back didn't pick it up. Got some pressure on him, got him out of the pocket.
George Tarlas was part of that pressure, too, the rookie out of Boise State.
Big point of emphasis this offseason when it came to free agency, when it came to the draft. Finding more players that can get to the quarterback and be disruptive. More Max Crosby's.
Not easy to find.
No.
Darnold hit as he threw it, and it was way over the head of Ronnie Bell. Curtis Bolton there again, and it'll bring a 4th down.
You know, they spent a great deal of time in the offseason evaluating what took place last season on the defensive side of the ball. Let's be honest, guys, it wasn't good enough when you look at the numbers. So they went back and they did personnel, scheme, staff evaluation. They added new pieces at all 3 levels of the defense. With really, I think, an emphasis was more playmakers that have the ability to be disruptive and take the ball away. And that's going to be the key for the Raiders in 2023.
Josh McDaniels going to take a timeout here. There are a lot of players coming in and off the field for both teams as Jake Moody's lining up for what would be a 58-yard field goal.
San Francisco had
first
the wrong personnel also.
Las Vegas. It's a 30-second timeout.
Now the 49ers there, Jake Moody, they did not have early picks because of the trade for Trey Lance and then the trade for Christian McCaffrey last year. Different story for the Raiders. 9-member class on the drafted class for the Raiders, starting with Tyree Wilson, who has not been able to suit up yet, coming back from foot surgery. Michael Mayer has been dealing with a little bit of an injury the last week as well. Byron Young we haven't seen today, but we have seen Jacorian Bennett and O'Connell and Tucker. These guys have played well in their debuts.
And 7 of those 9 players, guys, were team captains. I think that tells you a lot about their character, their integrity, their leadership skills.
A 58-yard boot for the rookie from Michigan, and he missed it wide right. So he has missed from 40, and he misses from 58. And the Raiders defense holds again. I think Flava Flav likes the popcorn and the sweet level, Rich?
He knows what time it is, Jason. Trust me. He knows what time it is.
Yeah, I'd say so. Max Crosby going to join us here in 1 sec. Chase Garber's first pass play, and he finds Fotheringham inside the 40, who goes down to make the grab. As Max Crosby now joining us here in the fourth quarter with the Raiders up 17. Max, Jason Orwich, Rich Gannon, Matt Millen, happy to have you with us, man, on the broadcast.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys, man. Always a pleasure.
Your takeaways here on what has been a pretty impressive performance both by the offense and the defense.
Absolutely. You know, we're playing complementary football. You see the defense, you know, the D-line's getting home, rushing very well. And it's great to see, man. Everyone's going after the ball and just flying around. You can definitely feel the energy out here.
You know, Max, we know there's one thing about this profession is change is constant, and a lot of change on the defensive side of the ball. You've got new playmakers at all three levels. Where do you guys have to be better in 2023?
Yeah, you know, we could be better on all three levels, you know, on the defensive side. We got guys, obviously, like you said, there's a ton of change. We got a lot of new faces in the building, and you can see it. You can feel it in practice. The guys are getting better and better in playing together, and that's really all you can ask for. So everyone's bought in. We're flying around, but we got a lot of work to do. So I feel like we're going in the right direction. We just got to keep building off it.
Max, one of the things that I look at all the time, and you do too, is studying the offensive line. It looks like there's some improvement in that offensive line. It looks like they've taken a step up. And I thought especially today they gave Aiden O'Connell a lot of time to throw, and Aiden played exceptionally well.
Absolutely. You know, the O-line's been doing a great job. You know, they played really well last year, and they're only getting better. So they got a great unit. You know, basically everybody's back, and you can just see it. You know, they're all in rhythm at all times. So super excited for those guys. We get after them. You know, in practice we make each other better on a daily basis. And then, you know, obviously Aiden's a baller. You know, you can see what he does out there. He's not second guessing himself. He's letting it rip, and you can see him out here just playing with swag and confidence, and he's making plays consistently.
Max, do you know what his numbers are today? Do you know Aiden's
honestly,
numbers?
I was just talking about this on the bench. I'm like, I wonder what Aiden's stats are, because I think I've seen 2 incompletions the whole time.
Let me give them to you. He was 15 of 18, 141 yards, and that touchdown to Keelan Cole.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, man. You could just feel it, man. He has, you know, for a young guy, he has a ton of confidence. He's got poise, and you could just tell he's ripping the ball. You know, he's not second guessing. He's letting it fly. So it's super good to see.
Max, last one for me. You accounted for 46% of the Raiders' sacks last season. That's the second highest mark in the NFL. You need some help. You've got some reinforcements in Chandler Jones. Talk to me a little bit about Tyree Wilson. I know everyone's anxious to see him. What do you like about his game so far?
Well, he's a great dude. You know, he's working super hard. He's working to get back, and that's really all you can ask for. You know, ever since he's gotten here, he's done everything he's been asked of him, and he's just trying to get back out on the field with us. So yeah, you know, he's doing a great job at meetings. He's working his tail off, and we're excited to have him in there. He's going to be a big player for us.
Max, no shocker that Daniel Carlson made a field goal, because the dude never misses. We'll let you get back to the defense there. What's been a good performance. Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys.
All right, Pro Bowler Max Crosby coming off a great season. He's looking to improve on this year as well. 27-7. It's been all Raiders today. For whatever score is worth in the preseason, this game was tied 7-7 in the second quarter. Aiden O'Connell had a 3-minute drive to end the second quarter with a touchdown pass to Keelan Cole, and the Raiders have scored 20 unanswered. They have 4 sacks today. All of those came against Trey Lance in the first half. They have forced a couple of fourth down turnovers and a turnover as well. And it's a 20-point Las Vegas lead here with 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of the preseason opener. Jameson's coming out for the Niners. He has shown explosive plays on special teams, and he had another one. Now there is a flag back at the 25-yard line. San Francisco, though, on the kick returns, Deshaun Jameson has shown some ability here this afternoon. But the Niners are walking that one back.
He's getting some help from his buddies who are grabbing.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the receiving team during the return. Holding, offense, number 9, that penalty is declined. Holding, that penalty is accepted. Half the distance to goal to the 10-yard line.
All right, so they'll be backed up to the 10-yard line.
Got a chance to spend some time with Greg Rolstad out of practice the other day, our referee, and You know, you talk about the importance of preseason. They've got a couple additions to their crew. They got a rookie line judge, and so these reps are important for the officials as well.
That is Brandon Allen, former Bengals backup, in the ball game in the handoff to Jeremy McNichols. They just signed him earlier this week, the former 5th-round pick of the Buccaneers back in 2017.
He's been around. He's played on 4 different teams: Jacksonville, the Rams, Denver, Cincinnati, prior to coming to San Francisco.
Well, and he started 5 games in 2020 for the Bengals as well. Just 1 game last year backing up Joe Burrow, only had 3 pass attempts. And the handoff again to McNichols, and he picks his way for a 49ers first down. Rich, we're done today with Trey Lance and Sam Darnold. Lance got the start, played the whole first half, threw a couple of balls that should have been intercepted. Sam Darnold came in, played the 3rd quarter. Your takeaway of that battle to see who's going to back up Brock Purdy?
Well, I think there's genuine concern, I think, internally within that organization about, you know, who's going to be that number 2 quarterback. I think Trey Lance, obviously, they've got a lot invested in him as a young player, he's a developing player, but he's got to show that he can make better decisions and be more active with the football.
Bell dropped it. Webb with the interception. Sam Webb with blockers. Sam Webb trying to score, and he's down at the 2.
Right place, right time. That's rare that Ronnie Bell lets a ball get through his hands, but Webb was right where he had to be.
You know, fans try not to take too much of preseason because it doesn't matter until you actually go in regular season. But everything, Matt, that you'd want to see from a preseason game, the Raiders have given it to you.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So, you know, like here, this is right place, right time, right? So the ball goes through his hands. Should have been a completion. But you're right there behind him. Pick it up. They're going for another touchdown. It's going to look like a real ugly score after this.
It's going to be a real ugly film to watch if you're the 49ers. So get ready to board those buses in that plane back to the Bay Area.
Yeah, one thing I learned a long time ago in this game, things are never as bad as they look when you win, or when you lose, and never as good as they look when you win.
Chase Garbers the touchdown pass to McCormick out of the backfield. It took 1 play, but they capitalize off the interception. Sincere McCormick's got one on the ground, and he's got one through the air.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think it's important to win in the preseason. You know, anytime you come out and compete, I don't care if your starters aren't playing. I think it's a style with which you play. And anytime you put that silver and black on, I think it's important to go out and compete and win. And I love what I'm seeing from the Raiders. I don't care about the score. Just go out and play smart, be tough, be physical, and be the team that's playing with a greater purpose. And today, clearly the Raiders are that team.
Now, we saw the Raiders drop a couple of interceptions in the first half. That time the bounce going their way. And Chase Garbers, who has come on here in the 4th quarter, has done a nice job.
Rich, to your point, losing is awful. I don't care when it is. Even when we had the great teams in the 80s, you didn't want to lose it. You didn't want to lose any game. And it was in the preseason, you still wanted to win. But I just think losing's the worst. It just gnaws at you.
Well, and you played 5 preseason games. Rich, you played 4. Now down to 3. Although last year with the Hall of Fame game, they had 4, and they went 4-0 in the preseason.
But, you know, when you think about it, if you're a young player and you only have 3 opportunities, right? 3 opportunities to make an impression on this coaching staff and the general manager, it's really important. We're just talking about the importance of winning in the preseason. The Ravens have won 23 straight games under John Harbaugh in the preseason. Say, what is it? It does matter, right? It's like, hey, this is what we do. This is who we are. We go out, we compete, we win.
Yeah, the last time the Ravens lost a preseason game was 2015. They beat the Eagles yesterday. Well, the offense has put up.
Thanks, Russ, by the way.
But the defense has played great, really, from the opening snap. That's the first snap of the game.
Yeah, constant pressure. I mean, pressure up inside, pressure off the edge, making these quarterbacks have to move off the spot. And then making plays on the back end. It was great. Talked a lot about it during the preseason. You have to be able to take the football away and create more negative plays, and it's been a point of emphasis this entire preseason.
What a hit. Bryce Cosby in the backfield.
He comes right off the edge. He's unblocked.
Yeah, nobody blocks you. You better make the play.
There's something to be said about making the play.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he came off the edge pretty quick on that safety blitz and set up this second and long.
There he is.
Here he's coming out of the slot. Boom.
And we talked about this earlier, too. Last year, the undrafted free agents that made this team, Sam Webb was one of those. He had the interception. Luke Masterson, we haven't seen a ton of him today, but Darian Butler's made a bunch of plays. Allen over the middle, and Bell makes that grab, but Tyler Hall is right there to meet him as soon as he makes the catch. Tyler Hall, another one, Matt. Undrafted free agent, came to the Raiders in the middle of last season, was on the practice squad, but he was elevated to the active roster in Seattle late November, and he made some big plays down the stretch.
Yeah, and he's had a really good camp. I mean, all these DBs I've been impressed with. I think the coverages that I'm watching in training camp they've been as tight could be.
No real competition in that cornerback position group, and I think there's much more depth than a season ago. And I think to be a dominant defense, we talked about, you need pass rushers and cover corners. I think Marcus Peters has brought some confidence and some swagger to that group.
And teaching. That's the part that I like about it. I like when the old guys pull the young guys aside and explain things to them.
There's a 30-second timeout.
You know, I just know as a quarterback that, like, when I go in practice and I'd see Charles Woodson out there, I thought to myself, all things being equal, I'm going to throw the ball away from Charles Woodson. And I think sometimes when you're a quarterback and you got Marcus Peters out there, and we saw the stats with what he has done, you know, since he's come into the league. He just has a knack for finding the football. The football has a knack for finding his hands. And I just think it makes you think twice as a quarterback that when you're throwing the ball in his direction, you better see the throw. You better make sure that there's some separation, because he has the ability to bait you into making bad decisions. And the Raiders need more cornerbacks to play with that mindset. Charles Woodson had it, and I think Marcus Peters does as well.
Remember, the last 2 years, takeaways have been a major problem. Last year, just 6 interceptions. And of the guys back, Amik Robertson's the only one who's back who had any of those 6. On 3rd and 9 for Allen. In the pocket and a good throw. Tane Martin in between a couple of defenders made the grab out by midfield.
That should happen. Fitted it between the corner and the safety.
Yeah. Over the top, underneath, and in front of the deep man.
Went for 23 yards.
He's just going to run a little bench route. He's got the corner sinking, and the corner's got to keep sinking.
Yep. What happened up front on that, they were running a stunt and they screwed it up. They ran into each other. So they had no pressure whatsoever.
Now Josh McDaniels has thrown his first challenge flag of 2023.
Las Vegas is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
Well, there's some rehearsal in this communication too. That is get both feet down inbounds. Right foot sure.
There's one.
Oh.
He's out.
I think he's out.
He's out.
That's a good challenge.
Now the question there, Rich, do those toes come down inbounds before the back heel?
Doesn't matter.
And then this, of course, preseason, as you mentioned, for the officials, preseason for the coaches, preseason for us.
You know, it's amazing talking to some of those officials out at practice, the scrimmage the other day. It's the speed with which plays happen in the National Football League. They're bang plays. I mean, you look at that quickly, you think he gets both feet in bounds, but you watch that left foot,
no,
I think it's out.
Yeah, that's out of bounds.
It happened right there on the Raiders sideline. That was an easy one for Josh McDaniels.
And you know who was at the bottom of the screen right there to see it? Marcus Peters, who you were just talking about, standing next to Nate Hobbs.
Well, he's always around the football. We just talked about that, Jason. Were you listening?
And if I were Nate Hobbs, I'd hang out with Peters all the time. That's a good one to learn from. I like Nate Hobbs. He's a good player.
There's Marcus Peters, 9th-year pro out of Washington, and he spent some time here after coming just a couple weeks ago about how he grew up a Raiders fan, wanted to be like Charles Woodson. He's wearing Charles's number 24. And he is.
Look at that necklace. Like, you don't wear a necklace like that if you don't make a lot of plays in the National Football League. I'm just here to tell you. But in all seriousness, there's a certain swagger and confidence that great corners have. You think about Deion Sanders, Charles Woodson, like all the great ones.
Mike Haynes.
I mean, all the great ones here that the Raiders had. All these Hall of Fame players. They think when the ball is thrown, it's being thrown to them, not the receiver.
Yep.
And they're willing to take risk. They're willing to take chances. They're willing to be aggressive. They're willing to jump on throws.
After review, the receiver was unable to get both feet down in bounds. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th and 9 at the 27-yard line.
So both coaches have won their challenge.
Las Vegas will not be charged with a team timeout.
At least the first one today here in the preseason.
8:51 on the game clock. 8:51. Thank you.
Well, we've talked a lot about the Raiders. If you're Kyle Shanahan, Rich, what are you thinking after today?
Well, I think that you're disappointed with the performance. I think you realize that you came here, you've been here a long time practicing. A lot of your starters aren't playing. There's a lot of work to do, a lot of film to go back and evaluate and grade. But the reality of it is you came out here on a Sunday and got outplayed and really out-hustled by a Raider team, and that's disappointing.
And they certainly have to worry about whether or not when Nick Bosa comes back into camp, right? Holding out, he has not come in camp yet.
Yeah, it's tough.
He wants a new contract.
Tough when your best players aren't in uniform.
I would be concerned about how Trey Lance played.
That's a great point, man.
I don't think he anticipated well. I don't think he saw the field very well. Those are things that you got to be on top of.
Statistics aren't going to look that bad for Trey Lance, but the early part of the game, they had 1 yard in the quarter. 27-point lead for the Raiders. The Raider image, your spot to get jerseys, present, past, all shapes and sizes. They have my schmedium. They have Rich Gannon. What are you, a large these days, Rich?
I'm large, but it's medium. That's between a small and a medium. That's what Matt used to wear. He used to walk around the weight room in a medium.
Nobody told me.
Jace Garber's hands it off to Damian Williams.
So they have different sizes back in the day. Small, medium, large, and oh my.
Exactly. We had a couple of my's on our team.
Any of them here for alumni weekend?
Yeah, the weird thing back then, honestly, back then, it was not fashionable to be 300 pounds. So guys like Art Shell, they always put at 280. And it was a really, the whole league was like that. It was kind of weird. Like they always had my weight in at like 245 or something.
Garber says that ball batted up in the air and McCormick almost came down with it. What were you actually?
I played at 265 my entire career.
But you look at this. You look at the numbers. You think about the size of the offensive lineman back then. There's not a Raider offensive lineman, I think, that's under 300 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the numbers. A couple of 290, but
so Rich, the biggest thing though has been the changes in the rules. So back in the day when we were playing like a guy like Art Shell, you couldn't just latch onto a guy. You couldn't even hold a guy. You had to punch and coil. And so the emphasis was more on athleticism. And Art Shell, one of the all-time great offensive tackles in the Hall of Fame. Just legit guy.
Garber's with a good opportunity here on 3rd down, and he's going to get out of bounds. A.J. Parker chased him out of bounds, second-year pro out of Kansas State, and it'll bring on the punt unit. Well, we saw his ability to escape the pocket and take off last year. He did that a lot at Cal.
Bay Area product. Got a chance to come in here last year and impress. Saw him play well in some preseason games a year ago, and right in the thick of things this year.
A.J. Cole coming off Second consecutive Pro Bowl, his 4th punt of the afternoon. That's nice luxury that Josh McDaniels has. He does not have to worry about whether he's got a kicker or a punter. He knows he's got them both. Jamison on the return for the 49ers, and he's trying to find space, and he's not going to find any. Cole Fotheringham, he's got 5 catches and a special teams tackle down inside the 20 after a 52-yard punt. Well, it's time for Rookie Spotlight, brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights, book now only at Allegiant.com. Ryan, Aiden O'Connell, when you go 15 of 18 for 141 on a touchdown in your first pro experience, Rich, you're getting the spotlight.
Yeah, I think you may get player of the game as well. It just looked really comfortable, poised, and you know, we talked about it prior to the start of the game. Aiden O'Connell has a lot of the qualities and the intangibles that you love at that position. I just think he's got a bright future, and he's going to get a chance to learn behind some veteran quarterbacks that are willing to share some of their knowledge and wisdom. That's a good situation for a young quarterback.
He's a mature kid. He's had some. He's married. He's had to deal with some things last year with his family that was pretty tough to go through, and he came out on the other end every time. He showed a lot of poise. He showed a lot of maturity. He's that same kind of guy. He's one of those guys you can count on.
You know, I love the fact that he's had to overcome adversity, right? He began his college career as a walk-on at Purdue and really had to fight and battle for the opportunity to play. And eventually made his way to the top of the depth chart and was a 2-year starter and a very productive player at Purdue.
Pressure up the middle again. Good throw. Brandon Allen took the hit from Nesta Jade Silvera, and he found his rookie receiver Isaiah Winstead for a first down and a pickup of 15 yards.
That was really well done. He stood right in there. He knew he was going to get hit. He just took the hit and let it throw.
Now, to your point, Rich, about Aiden O'Connell, he was going to go play at Wheaton College in Illinois, and when he got to West Lafayette, he was the 8th string quarterback, and now he's a record setter on many levels. Allen on the Nate Boone, a tough throw and nowhere to go. Cosby in coverage for Tay Martin. Maybe a pickup of 1, and the clock continues to move as we head towards 5 minutes here in the 4th quarter.
You know, when you judge and you evaluate the quarterback position, it's not always height and weight and arm talent, and sometimes we don't give enough credit to what's inside their heart. You know, their passion, their desire, their ability to compete. And I think, you know, those are some of the things that you really look for as an evaluator. You know, you want to find at that position, I think physical and mental toughness is so important.
You know what I think is really underrated? That you love to play the game.
Yeah.
And you got to find, if you have a guy who loves to play football, chances are they're going to be successful. You need, you know, the requisite skills, but when you have a guy who has those skills and doesn't like the game, not going to work.
And Matt, you know it. There's guys in this business that don't love it. And there's guys that love everything about it. Like we just talked to Max Crosby a little bit ago. This guy loves football. He loves working out. He loves being in the meeting room. He loves working with players. He loves one-on-one pass rush drills. I mean, he loves it all. And you can never have enough players that absolutely love this game and play it with a passion.
And off inside, Drake Thomas came up in the hole to make the tackle on Kalen Laburn, the rookie out of NC State, another one of those undrafted free agents we were talking about. Thomas was an all-ACC performer. You know, and another versatile guy. He was a middle linebacker for NC State. They needed someone to rush the passer late in the season. Thomas had 7.5 sacks last year in the final 6 games.
The more you can do, right? Can you be an every down player? Do you have to come off the field on 3rd down? Can you stay on the field and participate and be a difference maker in the kicking game? It's the more you can do when you're a young player in this league.
Nice catch. Rookie tight end Braden Willis. And Tyler All right in his hip pocket. The clock will continue to move. 34-7. It's a preseason game where the Raiders went right down the field on their opening drive for offense, scored a touchdown. Sacked Trey Lance twice on their opening drive. Raiders have a fumble recovery. They also have an interception here this afternoon. 3rd and 5 for Brandon Allen.
They'll go for it here.
You know, Jason, you mentioned the lack of penalties, and I just think what was very noticeable to me on really on all three phases, offense, defense, and the kicking game,
they're going to kick it,
is the execution and the communication. I just thought that the communication was excellent. The guys knew what to do. They played fast. They played with the purpose, and they have absolutely dominated the 49ers throughout this game.
Well, and there's a carryover effect of all this, too, as Wisnowski's on to punt it away. To your point, Rich, 1 penalty for San Francisco in the first half. They have 6 here in the second half. Keelan Cole calls for the fair catch, and he makes it at the 15-yard line. But the carryover, right? These two teams, and it wasn't the guys who played today, but the first-team guys, the second-team guys, part of the joint practice this week on Thursday and Friday. And we were all there watching the practices on the fields for these two teams. And the reality is, you know, our takeaways, Matt, the Raiders defense looked vastly improved from last year.
No question.
That has showed itself today. And the Raiders offensive line had some good moments too, and that showed itself today.
Yeah, and I also thought there was really good work on both sides. I thought both teams benefited from having the practices against each other. Of course, Devontae got a little dinged up, but he's going to be fine. The big thing was the improvement of the offensive line, and then the Raiders being able to rush the passer.
Damian Williams carrying a defender. He was signed on Thursday. The 8-year pro out of Oklahoma. They've had some injuries at the running back spot. Austin Walter's been put on IR. Britton Brown unable to go today. Brandon Bolden not playing today, so we saw a lot of Zamir White in the first half. He had 13 carries for 43 yards. Sincere McCormick's got some work here in the second half, and now we get the opportunity to see the 31-year-old from Oklahoma. And he gets another handoff, and he's hitting the backfield. That's Trey Swilling holding on to his feet, the son of former Raider Pat Swilling.
He's a dominant player. Had great success here.
New Orleans.
Great player in New Orleans. Well, that defense down in New Orleans was something.
Ricky Jackson.
Soul Patrol.
Soul Patrol.
That was a good group.
Sam Mills.
Yeah, Sam was on that.
Now we've come to the 2-minute warning here in the fourth quarter. Been a dominant Las Vegas performance. You're watching Raiders football presented by Cox. I don't know if Chase Garbers has Peyton Manning's moves, but he does have a touchdown pass this afternoon. Raiders up 34-7 as we take a look at the rest of the preseason schedule. The Rams coming up next Saturday night in Los Angeles. Those two teams will get together for joint practices on Wednesday and Thursday. And we'll come to you and end the preseason in Dallas before the Raiders have to get the roster down with the rest of the league to 53. Matt, obviously your time in the league and your 4 Super Bowls, but then 7 years as a GM. Is there a big difference about what it was with multiple cut-down days compared to what it is now? Just one cut-down day from 90 to 53.
No, not really. So I think the biggest thing is it actually helps right now is you have more bodies at practice. You have more bodies to play the preseason games. Of course, there are less preseason games. But I think you have a pretty good idea after coming through the first 2 weeks of camp what things look like. There's still going to be some close battles, and there's still room to put them on your roster somewhere.
The majority of the roster, think about it, for all 32 teams, you know who your top 40 players are. You know, in some cases, you know your top 45 players are. You're really trying to determine maybe who those last 6, 7, 8 players are going to be on your roster. Is it another receiver that's really jumped out? Are we going to keep an extra offensive lineman? Are we concerned about maybe we've got a couple injuries along the defensive line? Maybe we're going to keep another couple bodies on that side of the ball. You know, how are we going to play our secondary? And we're going to keep an extra corner. Is there somebody that maybe is a better person on special teams? So in other words, if we're going to decide between that last cover corner and the last receiver, and the one guy is the better contributor on special teams, well, guess who they're going to keep? And that's really what it comes down to. There's some tough decisions, but that's why every rep in practice in the preseason is so important.
You know, everybody, you're evaluating your own team, but you're also evaluating everybody else's team to find somebody that they may make a mistake on or get rid of them
or somebody
and want to bring them back,
or somebody who's better than what you have.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of players who will get cut on August 29th who are going to be on someone else's roster. That's the nature of every year.
You know what's tough is you make those final roster cuts and you think, Matt and I have been in locker rooms where you feel like this is the final team. You go out the next day and all of a sudden somebody else becomes available. And then that, it's a tough part of the business. If you're a coach, if you're a general manager, to have that conversation with the player who's invested so much of his time, effort, and energy into making the team, they're tough conversations.
Now San Francisco is going to wave the white flag on a day where it was all silver and black. 40th all-time preseason meeting is a dominant effort for Josh McDaniels and company in a 34-7 victory here inside Allegiant Stadium over the 49ers.
Well, San Francisco has a good football team. San Francisco is going to be in the middle of that race. So, if you're a San Francisco fan, I wouldn't be so worried about too many things.
There's Jimmy Garoppolo with his teammates from the past few years. George Kittle was in there. Christian McCaffrey in there as well. Jimmy Garoppolo talked about it this week. He's seeing his old guys, a lot of friends on that team. Now obviously the opposition, but
spent 6 years there. I mean, you talk about someone who's invested a lot of time, effort, and energy into and he was close so many times. I mean, they had some really good teams last year. They had a really good team, and he gets hurt, misses the last 8 games, including the playoffs, and he opens the door for a young quarterback, Brock Purdy. And now all of a sudden, like, Brock Purdy is their guy. It's amazing, Jason and Matt, how quickly things change in this business. And now Jimmy Garoppolo finds himself in a Raider uniform. But what an amazing opportunity. I mean, I'll never forget the first time I put on that Raider helmet, how special that was. And I know Jimmy G feels the same way. He's got a great team in front of him. I think the Raiders are going to surprise some people last year. 6 wins last year was not what the doctor ordered. But I'm just telling you, there's been a lot of effort to try and rebuild this roster. The competition has been outstanding. That was a good start to the preseason, a 34-7 thumping of the 49ers.
Well, and it all got started in the second quarter. Aiden O'Connell got going right away, and he's part of our connection to the game. Brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights booked now only at Allegiant.com. Right before halftime, the throw to Keelan Cole. And he was 15 of 18 for 141. And Keelan Cole, again, another one of those guys you're talking about, Matt, trying to be that 5th or 6th receiver to make this team. He was on this team last year, and he caught everything that came his way today.
And that's all you can ask out of the guy. He ran great routes today. He got in and out of his breaks really well. Most importantly, he got open. And the biggest thing with O'Connell is you got to get your eyes back inside right away because the ball's coming out quick. They were on the same page, and I thought he had an excellent game.
Final stats here this afternoon. The Raiders outgained the 49ers on the ground in a big way. Those 2 takeaways both coming in the second half, a fumble recovery and an interception. And the red zone, Rich, you talked about it earlier today that they had to improve from last year. They put it in the end zone today, not settling for field goals.
Really impressive, dominant on the ground as well, rushing the football. But the one I really like is that 3rd down number. 2 of 10 for the 49ers. The Raiders did a great job getting off the field on 3rd down and giving their offense plenty of opportunities.
And then, Matt, the other side, and the emphasis for Patrick Graham. This has been talked about for 7 months now. They've got to take the football away, and they did it today.
Yeah, they did. And you got to get around the ball. You got to understand where the ball is. That was a nice job there by Golden, punching the ball out. And then once the ball's free, you got to find it, right? Right there, you just have a Johnny on the spot right there. But you still have to do it. Nice job by the Raiders today in the turnover department.
Final takeaways, guys, before we get to L.A. next week. We'll start with you, Matt. Final takeaways here of this opener of the preseason.
Good start. I think the day really belonged to the young quarterback, Aiden O'Connell, and I think the rest of the guys responded very well.
Some really good tape out there. Again, Aiden O'Connell, I thought, stole the show. He just came out. He looked really sharp. He was prepared. The ball came out quick. He was decisive. Great accuracy and anticipation. Just really something to build on as we get ready to head to Los Angeles. Angeles.
No question about that. So we will see you there next Saturday night. The Raiders and the Rams will practice together this week on Wednesday and Thursday in the Valley. And then they'll go at it at SoFi later next week. But a great start for Josh McDaniels in his second season. Zamir White got the heavy workload in the first half, had a touchdown, and a 34-7 thumping of the Niners here this afternoon. For Rich Gannon and Matt Millen and our entire crew, I'm Jason Horwitz. We'll see you in LA next week. Take care, folks.